the 19th person who's cheated me on MatPat. Okay. You know, I forgot to upload the VOD yesterday. I started uploading it a few hours ago. And I went to start streaming a few minutes ago. I'm like, wait, shit, the VOD finished, right? It was only halfway done, so I had to cancel it. It'll go up later. People will survive, I'm sure. Because I want to stream now. I just did work for a couple hours. I've been translating a drama CD for someone, and it's been... I wouldn't say a nightmare, but it hasn't been easy work at all. That's not really what I'm used to. But it's been something. It's certainly been something. Okay. Cool things should be happening tonight. Like I said yesterday, I'm hoping I can finish it. No, I'm not translating the Umineko drama CD. No, it's Gurren Lagann, actually. I'm translating a Gurren Lagann drama CD for someone. So it's kind of still nonsense. It's kind of fun. It's not boring, I'll say that at least. You're really enjoying this, aren't you, Amakusa? Yeah, come to think of it, you always take those TV quiz shows totally seriously, trying to win from your couch. I guess life's many times more fun for you than it is for me. Come, please think. What miraculous trick could get Battler out of that closed room? I want to give the rest of the story especially to those. No, only to those who have thought. Hope everyone's been thinking since yesterday. I hope they have their little theories in their head. I don't expect anyone to have come to the solution. I've done a lot on Reddit, and some people actually at this point do like go back and reread like episode 5 and some other stuff, and they actually do figure it out. I'm shocked that they do, honestly. I mean, again, in hindsight, a lot of this stuff is obvious. It's all the themes of episode 6. Why is it that without love it cannot be seen? Why does this love game have to happen this way? It's gonna be hinted at more coming up. In the Witch's Cathedral? No, considering everything that's gone on in here, maybe it should be called the Demon's Abode. Erica, who wanted to savor the memory of her perfect victory, stood with the whole vast cathedral to herself as the flush slowly left her cheeks. Then, though she thought herself alone on the balcony, she saw a shadow. It was Lambda Delta. Oh, it's you, Lady Lambda Delta. It's not often one finds you alone in a place like this. Oh, it's you. Congratulations on your big victory. That's strange. I think I remember saying the same thing to you right here at the end of the last game. Then what happened? That wasn't exactly a compliment. However, Eric was in such a good mood that even those words sounded like one. I happened to hear what you said a short while back. What? I heard that you have also had the experience of being toyed with as a piece on some great witch's game board, then sealed away in smallful hell. Erica had a crude, triumphant look on her face, as though she'd managed to pry into some embarrassing memory from the other's past. However, Lambda Delta didn't look in the least bit flustered, and instead gazed down from the balcony in silence. I have. I wonder how many years I was shut up in there. Maybe I should have counted them like Burn. No, it's probably best that I didn't. Counting the years is what made Burn break. Apparently there's still like some discussion as to exactly what Lambda Delta refers to with her hell. Even from people who have seen Higurashi, they're not quite sure if they should interpret it straightforward or not. Are you saying that my master also fell into the hell of the logic error at some point? Specifically like about the logic error stuff. She did, though she wasn't the one responsible for that logic error. Because she wasn't the game master? Higurashi's weird. That's right. At that time, she was still a small piece that wasn't even self-aware yet. It was her master, the game master, who committed the logic error. My master was also a witch's piece? Yes. That kid's master is another bad one. Though she created the game herself, partway through, she lost sight of what her goal was. She ended up creating something like a broken game of backgammon, with start and goal are connected like a donut. What do you mean she lost sight of her goal? I'm talking about a logic error. In her backgammon game, she wasn't able to draw up a line of logic describing how to reach the goal she desired. So the game remained broken, with no goal at all. In that case, she should have quieted down and thought of an answer herself. Instead, she despicably left, even the thinking entirely to her piece, Burn. Have you heard of the infinite monkey theorem? It's a theory, no an absurdity, arguing that, if a monkey hits random letters on a typewriter for an infinite amount of time, he'll probably end up with the exact same set of letters as Hamlet by coincidence, sooner or later. Wouldn't that be a horrible hell? Burn was forced to type randomly in a typewriter for an eternal period of time, without even knowing the meaning of what she was doing. The Game Master was trying to get Burn to create a goal that the Game Master hadn't even thought of. Could Erica even imagine how horrible hell that would have been? A job you have to do 100 times. Eyes elephant. Hi, Patchy. Okay, good, she's not stuck. And a job with a 1 out of 100 chance of success that you have to keep doing repeatedly. By probability, they may look very similar, but the difference in cruelty between them is great. When you have to do a job 100 times, you steadily approach the end, get more efficient as you become more used to it, and it eventually does end. However, a job that succeeds with a 1 out of 100 probability doesn't reflect the hard work of the individual in the slightest. Everything is left to luck. In the worst case scenario, even the task of flipping a coin until you get heads can last more than 100 years. How many keys are there on a typewriter? About 100 maybe. What do you think the odds are of hitting those at random and getting Hamlet? I can't even imagine. They must be unbelievably small. That's right. It's not really any different from Endless Span of Time. For that dizzying sort of time, that child was forced to keep pounding on that typewriter until she typed out a miracle. That's why she's the Witch of Miracles? If she hadn't been a witch... No, if she hadn't been capable of becoming a witch, she would probably still be a black cat strapped to that typewriter for eternity. That child was blessed by a miracle, succeeded in typing out a miracle, became a witch, and returned from that hell alive. That hell was so long and harsh that her mind was completely broken. That's why she became such a mean and heartless witch. Even you would dislike your master if given the choice, right? I think she does. That's not true. I am honored to be my master's piece. My master is a powerful persecutor. Trampling over the weak is her natural right. Because she's a human in the bully side of life? Heh. Do you know how to create a great bully? No. It's easy. Bully them horribly, even if it's just for a short time. Then suddenly stop and give them power. If you do that, then no matter who it is, they'll be reborn as a mighty bully. Even if you only bully them for about 3 days, you'll get them to believe that they're still a bullied kid for 100 million times longer than that, and they'll reign as the mightiest of bullies. Mikuchi 7 has an entire short VN about bullying. It's also a pretty good read. But it's unconnected from Higurashi and Umineko. Different thing entirely. Though it has a very similar name. What does that have to do with my master? You don't understand anything about Burn. No matter what kind of ruthless, cruel, horrible scum Burn may be, I want to be the one person who knows what she's truly like. And the same goes for me. I think that kid, as a fellow survivor from hell, is the only one who can understand what I'm truly like. It sounds like you're jealous of the relationship we have, but give it up. The hell you think you've trudged through is nothing more than a blink compared to the one we crawled out of. This time, Erica was probably the one being mocked. The discouraged expression on her face clearly showed that she couldn't accept Lambda Delta's words. If you'll pardon me for saying, I think it's the depth of the hell that's important, not the length of time spent there. Oh? You think so, Witch of Truth Erica? I don't know what kind of hell you were in, Lady Lambda Delta, and I'm sure the time I spent in hell was nothing more than a blink compared to yours. However, I don't think the depths of my hell were any shallower than yours. In part to celebrate your victory, I'll listen to what you have to say without arguing back. From my point of view, both the hell my master fell into, which could only be escaped from with a miracle, and the hell you fell into, which I don't know about, but could be escaped from with certain willpower, were hells made to be escapable. Aha. That's pretty bold coming from you. I'm the Witch of Truth. My hell is nothing more or less than the truth. When faced with the harsh reality of truth, no sort of willpower or miracle matters. I reached this place by overcoming that truth. I don't believe my power of withstanding the truth is in any way inferior to yours or my master's. So what is this power to withstand the truth? Those who don't know cannot understand. Perhaps you two couldn't become witches of truth, because you couldn't bear to look at it directly. I'll forgive you for those impudent words, holding the past with a slight nod as my present to you for your recent victory. Thank you very much, great Lady Lambda Delta. Audible wink. Oh, that's unusual. It's rare to spot you two getting along. At some point, Burn Castell had appeared on the opposite balcony of the cathedral. Erica, noticing her, cried, "My master!" happily and dashed over. Lady Lambda Delta was telling me old stories about you. A tale of miracles fitting for my master, the Witch of Miracles. I'll forgive you just this once. Huh? Never speak of my past again. A grimace rose to her face and blasted Erica's good mood away. Then she understood. Burn Castell was also a witch running from boredom. If it caught up with her, she would remember those never-ending days of hell. This is proof that even my master still hasn't gotten over the pain and fear of hell. It means that she lacks the power to withstand the truth. For the first time, Mirka felt just a little disdain for her master. Oh, my apologies. More importantly, why have you come to a place like this? I was looking for you. I wanted to give you a reward. A reward? Really? Thank you very much, my master. Oh? Wow, I'm jealous. What are you going to give her? First, I acknowledge your ascension as a true witch, not just a temporary one. I'll be your guardian, witch of truth, Furura Erica. Thank you very much. All you did was remove the temporary bit. How happy can she be with a reward like that? You've got to want something more spectacular than that, right? No, that's not true. I'm very happy already. Of course, on the inside, Erica did want another present. Mimicking Lambda Delta, she looked at her master to see if any further rewards would be coming. I do have one other. Brinka still snapped her fingers. Don't forget what we saw happening at the very start of episode 6. As she did, a cloud of gold butterflies gathered, and summoned Battler sitting in a throne at the center of the cathedral. Of course, his eyes were blank. He was still shell of himself, his heart trapped in the closed room that he would never be able to escape from. That man is your reward. My reward is Battler? Oh, I see. You're saying you'll make it so that Erica inherits all of this game board's territory. That's right. Look at Battler's finger. He's wearing the ring of the one-winged eagle, symbol of the territory lord. If that becomes yours, you'll become the official lord of this territory. Pat is the territory lord. I don't mean you'll be under my charge. In named reality, this territory will be yours. So I need to take that ring off Battler's finger. Don't be stupid. There's only one ceremony where a woman gets a ring from a man's finger, right? Erica, take Battler as your husband and become the wife of the territory lord. Take Battler as Yeah, that's right. If the territory lord is never to wake again, he'll need a partner to serve by his side and in his place. In other words, you will control this territory. So we'll hold a wedding and exchange rings. Battler's territory lord ring will become yours. In exchange, you will put a ring of subordination on Battler's finger. You will control and humiliate him forever, and create as many tales, however, you like using this territory and game board. Territory lord, Furura Erica. Any tale you wish will come true. The territory lord is God. Congratulations, you're going to become the god of this small but wonderful world. Is that true, my master? Will I become this world's god? That is the final reward I will give to you. Take Battler's ring and create your own world. When that happens, you won't be my piece anymore. You'll be your own witch, and a splendid one at that. Congratulations, Lady Erica. And one day, you must welcome me when I come to visit, just like Beato once did. Yes, my master. There could be no greater honor. And I'm starting to like this marriage thing. If you think about it, there could be no greater disgrace. After all, that Beatrice has apparently grown a desire to serve Battler and be liked by him. In the world that Witch created, I'll marry, defile, and humiliate Battler. And make Beatrice watch. Oh yes, I understand. I so understand how painful it feels to have the one you love stolen away from you. And now I'm finally the one dealing with the pain. Truly, there could be no greater honor. And an Umineko NTR. Check my coffee. It's still hot. I'm glad you like it. I knew it was the one present you'd like most in the world. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my master. Erica looked down from the balcony and walked briskly towards Battler. Then she peered down at the reward she'd been given. Now isn't that a wonderful finale? You'll have a wedding, right? Of course, a magnificent one. The perfect way to end Beato's game. Of course, you'll send Beato an invitation too, right? Let's hope she actually comes. Okay, things are going to get busy. We have to prepare for the ceremony, make programs, send invitations. Don't forget the wedding dress and a cake. And you need to get things ready for the reception. The two witches disappeared, cackling. Only the two who were to be wed remained in the cathedral. Can you hear this, Battler-san? Do you realize what's about to happen to you? Damn it. Battler's consciousness wasn't completely gone. It was very distant, but he was faintly tethered to reality. And that was what made it cruel. It was as cruel as though the spider called Erica had wrapped Battler up and was eating him while he was still conscious. No, she might have been like certain kinds of wasps. It was the cruelty of paralyzing her prey while it still lived, so that she could save him for later and eat him. In other words, her cruelty was that of a predator. You can't get out of that closed room. After all, we used all that red truth to show that it was closed. So don't worry, just let yourself be trapped in there forever. Because will you do? I'll be giving your body some good long humiliation. Let's have a mirror in our bedroom. That way you can see just how you're being humiliated with your own eyes. How do I interpret that? There aren't many good interpretations of that. And let's have a birdcage hanging from the ceiling. We can stick your beloved witch Beatrice in there. What do you think? Wonderful, isn't it? Yeah, I understand. This is how sweet it is to be standing on the other side. As he listened to this mad laugh, Valor couldn't even bring distressed expression to his face. His heart was still trapped in the closed room he had created. Clown makeup. You were incompetent. It almost went down the wrong pipe. His body and soul would soon be trapped within a new closed room of Erica's. A closed room called marriage. Oh my god. One of the best lines right here. Marriage is a closed room. You see what I want people to experience Umineko? Hey, did you hear, Furfur? I sure did, Zepar. Lord Bowler and Lady Erica are having a wedding. Their words were so similar to the usual shtick that Beato had asked them to repeat it again. But what do you mean? As you know, the territorial lord of this place has had his heart sealed away and cannot speak. It seems the beautiful Lady Erica is going to become his wife and support him in his work. He didn't consent. The two demons explain the situation in a very simple, yet dramatic way. I know what's going on. They're planning to take advantage of the fact that Balor's heart is sealed away, and use marriage to lock up his body as well, so that they can steal everything from him. At this rate, that was Positioner's Game Master, and his territorial wedge ring will be stolen away. That little thief thinks she can do whatever she wants. Let's steal him back. This doesn't concern me, but if it affects you, then it's my business too. Stealing his body back won't do you any good. After all, the Great Lady Brimcastel has already signed the marriage certificate as a witness. With the Great Witch of the Senate serving as a witness, no one can dispel that union unless one of the pair wills it. So as I thought, unless they can rescue Balor's heart from that closed room, there's no way we can save him. And find a way to rescue him from there. They're going to steal away the bridegroom? Ah, how wonderful! If you can do that, it would make for a tale beautiful enough for the opera. However, this closed room sealing Balor is quite difficult. The only way out is the door, and if the chain isn't set, his escape will not be accepted. And on top of that, the chain can't be set from the outside. And now there's no one left to switch places with him. No matter how you look at it, we're stuck. If we give up, we won't be able to save him. The only way we can save him now is to keep thinking. Though Beata looked as though she was about to burst into tears, she clenched her fists tightly. She was so frustrated with her inability to think of any brilliant plan that her heart felt as though it would burst. Zephyr and Furfur, you two are known for being among the most powerful of demons. They say your magic can make the impossible possible. Couldn't you use your power and knowledge to work out a plan for crushing this impossible closed room? Yes, love can accomplish any impossible thing. If you can't accomplish something, it means you lack enough love. Hearing that hurts. But we're moved by the strength of will that prevents you from giving up. Because you have that, we're sure you can bring about a miracle. But they won't do it for her. Can't you at least give us some sort of a hint about that miracle? We've known each other for quite some time. Can't you at least give my little sister a hint as a parting gift? We are always giving out hints. Without love, they cannot be seen. Yes, we can't see, which is why I'm telling you to show us. These two are always like this. You'll never get bored, but they can be very irritating at times like these. Zephyr and Furfur certainly were demons who possessed a great power. The power of love that they bestowed had created several miracles in the past. Miracles so great, they left marks on human history. However, those miracles were never given easily. They would give trials, tell riddles, and sometimes help the truth be realized, so that those who desired power could create that power themselves. No matter how pitiful the eyes that looked up at them, the two demons would never lend their power out of pity. As it is with gods, so it is with demons. They help those who help themselves. I understand. I'll think about it myself. I will certainly. See, demons, look at this modern, pure-hearted girl. As the demons of love, don't your hearts hurt even a little? Let's have a hint. Or could you at least give us a hint to a hint? Zipper and Furfur looked at each other. Of course, there was no pity on their faces. However, it could be seen that, though they did find the problem amusing, they were considering what they should do next. What do we do, Furfur? Can we just give a hint to a hint? Yes, that'll do nicely, so let's have it. Okay, here's a present from Zephyr and Furfur. A hint to a hint of love. But please, you can't see the answer, because you don't have enough love. I told you not a hint like that. And if you don't have enough love, why don't you watch some lovers who are overflowing with it? Yes, unfortunately, we have two groups of lovers right here with us. Why don't we take a peek at their fight for love? You should watch over and observe our trial. I told you, not a hint like that. This is like Deltarune-ass dialogue. Beato the Elder yelled at them, asking for a more tangible hint. However, Zephyr and Furfur just giggled and ran about like rats. However, Beato took their hint to a hint seriously. They're not just saying it for no reason. Now that the Beatos were out of it, I love that we can say Beatos. Plural, Beatrices, Beatos. The second trial was between George and Shannon on one side and Jessica and Cannon on the other. Tear apart the two who were close. In other words, defeat one of the members on the opposing team. They were allowed to use any method they wanted. It could be a duel, or it could be rock, paper, scissors. The four of them had alternated between speaking together, then splitting up and discussing things amongst their teams, and had apparently finally reached a decision. Zephyr, Furfur, do you have a second? Oh, they finally called out to us. So, George, have you decided on a format for the duel? No matter how much the two demons cheered the four of them on in a joking manner, their serious expressions did not waver. Yes, we've decided to hold a duel. Parkour match. The duel will take place between Shannon and me. That's surprising. For a one-on-one duel, we would have thought that George and Jessica would have fought. These guys really wanted it to be them, and they wouldn't listen. As a man, I can't stand being unable to do anything but watch. However, Shannon's resolve will not waver, so we have no choice but to respect their decision and believe in them. Cannon-kun, I think it's the first time we've had this song come up. It's a good one. Thank you so much for believing in me. I've always thought that, if we had to fight each other directly someday, it should be done like this. And we've realized that day is today. Of course, we might have been able to avoid this day. However, now this day has come, so we won't run away. That's right. I'm not running away, so I'll be right here. Me too. I place my faith in Shannon, so I have nothing more to say. Even if Shannon is the one fighting, our power is one, so we'll be fighting together. Yes, that's right. I'm just representing the pair of us. If the lovers have decided, even we demons will not butt in. So, how would you like to settle this duel? You don't mean that you want to have a literal duel, do you? At once, both Shannon and Cannon nodded. And the method? It's the same leitmotif as Sakutaro's theme, I think. It's got a bit of it in there at least. It's nice. That doesn't matter, as long as there's a fight to the death. If possible, we would like it to be peaceful without suffering. Unless I'm thinking of a different song, I'm not sure. There's a lot of music. And we'd like to avoid wounding each other unnecessarily before one of us dies. Zephyr, we should be the ones to oversee this noble duel. True. We understand you too. We will propose a noble duel, one that will honor your noble spirits. When Zephyr clapped loudly, a case with an old design appeared in the air and landed between Shannon and Cannon. That could be. Furfur nodded at them, urging them to open it. Cannon crouched down and opened the case. There were some antiques inside. They would have looked splendid hanging on the wall at some classy coffee shop. However, they were not mere decorations now. These are... I see. Just perfect for a duel. Inside the case were two dueling pistols, ancient like the kind used in the Middle Ages. Yes, this was a dueling pistol case, that only those who wish for a fight to the death were allowed to open. They have one bullet each. As you requested, we've imbued them with magic. They have magical bullets, which will bring certain and painless death no matter where on your body they hit. Shoot Zephyr and Furfur. Do it. Thank you very much. You are most merciful. And what if we both miss? Normally that would be a draw. However, such a thing is not allowed in our trial. If you both miss, you'll come back and we will give you new bullets. I've never seen any John Wick, no, ever, not a bit. This will repeat until one of you is dead. I have no objections. Me neither. I'm glad. This means we can finally settle this. Excuse me, George. I recognized you as Shannon's, no, Sayo's witness. Understood. Yoshimi and Jessica, I recognize you as Cannon's, no, Yoshia's witness. Sure. We're responsible for this duel. It is our responsibility to see that this duel reaches a decision no matter what. I mean, I'm not watching John Wick. I could care less. When Zephyr and Purpur cried these words out, the whole area was blanketed in a gold-colored light, and when it cleared, it had become the rose garden where golden roses bloomed. A duel over love, is it? How old-fashioned they are. I never really watched, like, action hero stuff at all as a kid, really. I mean, I watched Power Rangers. That's what I watched during that age. I've seen many duels with pistols during my 1,000 years, but I've never seen one like this. I never watched Rainbow. A lot of Johns. Because it's being overseen by demons? No, a duel over love is usually a fight between two people, both in love with the same single person. However, here we have a pair of lovers fighting another pair of lovers. This is quite odd. See, I'm the odd one out, though, for not seeing any of these movies, honestly. I'm just not really a movie guy. At all. Watching now and again as a kid, but I'm sure it's because they want a miracle of magic. It seems we cannot be successful in love without such a miracle. But why? Do you know the minimum number of people needed to create a universe? Huh? No, I don't. Shannon and Cannon each took a pistol out of the case, returned to their respective witnesses, and checked their weapons over. Then, when they both decided that there were no problems, they checked once more to make sure that their opponent was prepared, and nodded to each other. If there are no problems, let the duel stand back to back, then walk the decided number of steps away from each other. Then, the duel began on our signal. Zephyr, how many steps should they walk? Good question. Well, maybe we should choose a number that's closely bound to this duel. A number closely bound. What number is that? It's a number we know of well. It's that number which has been repeated over and over since the time this tale began. That number is 19. That's an interesting number. I like it. It's a good number to settle everything with. 19. Whenever the illusion of a 19th person was seen on the island, on which only 18 people were supposed to be, this number was used to refer to the witch. It was the number of years needed to create this tale. It was the number of years it took to reach this unavoidable day. Yeah, you're right. It should be paces, technically. I didn't think of that. That is more, I guess, historically accurate. It's like terminology accurate, yeah. And it was the age of the true territorial lord of this world. They'll stand across from each other, then walk 19 steps, and shoot. That's pretty far. At that distance, the first one to shoot won't necessarily be the winner. If one of us shoots first and misses, that will probably be the end for them. And if it hits, this easy game can be won without even getting a scratch. Well then, duelers, stand with your backs together. Shannon and Cannon slowly walked towards each other, facing each other. Once they turned away, they wouldn't see the other's face again until they killed them. So, this face-to-face meeting would never happen again. We should at least hug. As like honorary siblings. Thanks for everything. Getting to have a little brother like you was fun. Thanks. Thank you for letting me be me. Thank you for showing me color in the world of grey. Why were we born, I wonder? It would have been better if we died right after being born. That's Father's sin, isn't it? Yeah, so we can just die. Let them all die. Yeah, everyone will die. It'll happen very soon. And right after, everyone will revive, and we'll be able to see them again. We aren't birds in a cage anymore. We will finally leave our cage and fly off to our separate worlds. I should have had a duel like this with you long ago. Surely today is the day. Yeah, it's today. October 5th, 1986. The fated day. The day that one of us will die. Or maybe we'll both shoot at the same time and both die. That might not be so bad. Even that wouldn't be bad at all. Right. After all, even if that happens, our loves will surely be made complete. Did we really need to have this duel? We did. You said it yourself. We should have done this much sooner. Oh, hindsight. Right. Because to me, you are just in the way now. But why does one of them being in love stop the other? For the first time, the intent to kill flashed through the eyes of both. Why? For what reason? Why must such a day come for this pair that seemed so much like siblings, connected by a bond different from love? It was a great mystery. As great a mystery as the question of how this could be the key towards unlocking Balor-san's closed room. I don't even remember exactly what happens in this scene, to be honest. If I watch over this duel instead of running away, will I find the key to solving that closed room? I will, right? Zebar-san, Furfur-san. It's been way too long. And the whole, like, Logic Air wedding stuff sticks out a lot more in my head, personally. Oh shit, it's the song. The cathedral was beautifully decorated for the wedding between the territorial Lord Balor and Lady Erica. Right here, Birth of New Witch is one of my favorite Umineko songs. This is probably, like, top 5 right here. Yeah, we hear the instrumental now and the vocal version later. A crowd of guests wearing goat masks filled the cathedral, waiting for the arrival of the bride and groom. As befitted a demon's wedding, it was neither solemn nor quiet, but cheery and noisy, brimming with activity. I wonder what Beato is doing. I wonder if she's gone to see Zephyr and Furfur. Since that powerful pair controls love, they could force you and a demon king to retreat. I do hope they prove to be helpful in some way. I know all about those two. I think you know as well as me that they won't hand over their power easily. True. However, that is precisely why they are capable of granting a power that can lead to miracles. At any rate, if we just free Balor-kun's heart from that closed room, we should be able to manage something here. Closed rooms are your favorite, are they not, Cap? Can you think of any tricks? This is a nasty one. Balor and Erica have been dropping red shoots all over the place. I can say for certain that it's impossible to escape from the inside on one's own. So, after all, the only way is to have someone else trade places with him and set the chain. If someone does appear like that, saving Balor should be easy. There's a full 11 people, right? Those 11 are sealed on the second floor of the guest house. If we could somehow slip them out of there. I see. Solving the problem of Balor-sama's closed room is equivalent to solving the problem of either closed room on the guest house's second floor. Exactly. Limiting your thoughts to just Balor's guest room would be like getting trapped in a mental closed room of your own. The closed room we need to break open to save Balor isn't the guest room. It's the closed room of the guest house. Most unfortunately, we of Iron Maiden have been placed in charge of the rooms in the guest house. And you guys specialize in seals and barriers. However, that was quite impressive, Miss Gap. You realize that the closed room you should destroy to save Balor's in the guest house. The ceremony will begin soon, but why not reconstruct the scene as a way to kill time until then? Are you sure about this? Doesn't this violate the obligation of confidentiality you have as Lady Erica's pieces? That is no problem. Surely, if you first have the seals around the scene confirmed and fall into despair, you'll be able to celebrate the ceremony more sincerely. How confident. I'll take that challenge. Leah, let's have ourselves a little snack before the ceremony. With that, dear ladies of Iron, we humbly ask that you can reconstruct the scene for us. We hear and obey. Alright, pay close attention. This is the cousin room. The next room over has the exact same layout. Carry out your inspection however you please. This room has Genji, Goda, Kanon, and then Kraus, Rudolph, and Jessica for a total of 6 people. The next room over has Hideyoshi, George, Shannon, Kurosawa, and Nanjo for a total of 5 people. Don't be stupid, everyone. Who's in this room doesn't matter anymore. We need to find out how to escape from it. You're right. Yeah, she does have glasses here. I think maybe she's supposed to be the one carrying out the ceremony? So she has them? I'm not sure. Maybe she's farsighted. The door and windows are sealed, so we must somehow escape from some other place. Oh. About time someone actually uses that. I totally forgot that that was even there, honestly. You know what? I know all about how you heaven people like to use momentum to dodge issues. I don't know, I just thought it'd be funny. This is no closed room, right? Please, allow me to speak. Let it be known that the closed rooms in our charge are perfect. You were in charge of the window seal of Kinzo's room last game, right? Just how did Battler let Kinzo escape from that room? That was no fault of Cornelia's. The blame rests on her superior, me. This is exactly the same as Kinzo's study. It's the windows. This closed room can be broken by the windows. This trick of yours is just plain obvious. How? Lady Erica sealed the entire room, right? That means the entire room is sealed, including the windows. I see. It would seem that we have been misinterpreting the definition of these seals. Closed rooms, sealed by packing tape, are not impossible to break. They form no prison. That's it exactly. Seals definitely prove that a room is a closed room. However, they don't prove that the room will remain as such. They only prove that the room is a closed room as long as the packing tape is not broken. We are not trying to deceive you in any way. As long as the packing tape is intact, they are guaranteed to be closed rooms. That is all. Then why the windows? Why is it that we can break this closed room with the windows? It's simple. We just tear the packing tape apart and jump out. I don't know what the outside wall of the guest house is like, but it must have enough of a foothold for that girl to crawl up and stick packing tape on the outside without anyone noticing. If you break the packing tape, we will immediately know that the seal has been broken, and we have already proven that the seals were intact at the time of Battler's logic error. True. It's true that, at that time, you proved that the seals weren't broken. That's how you tricked us into thinking that these were closed rooms. The logic of seals equals closed room doesn't always apply. Gap's specialty was dealing the finishing blow in closed room mysteries. She leaned back and looked down at the short Delanor, as though a challenge such as this was like taking candy from a baby. Delanor looked up at her with a bold expression, and sparks flew between them. If anything, one improvement that I wish Umineko had is like the ability to refer back to the red that had been shown in the episode. I think that would make it a lot easier for people to like actually figure these things out. What do you mean seals equal closed room is wrong? That's insane. Remember, Leah, which seals did Eric and the others show us at that time? Which seals did they show were still intact? Pukukuku. I see. This is the sort of falsification that the Great Court of Heaven likes to practice. I cannot let that remark pass. What is your complaint? Come on, I've been saying it the whole time. It's the windows. It's true that you people use those seals to seal them in. That included the windows. And at the time, you added those seals that counted as proof. So far, so good. But you know what? After that, anyone in this room could have done it. Who's here again? Genji, Goda, Cannon, Cross, Rudolph, and Jessica. It could have been any one of them. All they had to do was tear the packing tape on the window, slip out from there, and save Battler. But at the time of the logic error, it was proven that the seals were intact. Incorrect. At that time, Lady Erica only verified the status of the seals on the doors. Yes, come to think of it, at that time, Lady Erica just showed the doors of the two rooms and claimed that the seals were intact for each. Yeah, do you remember when she came back and she was like, one person, check the seals there. Tell me what they are. Tell me if they're there. Check the others. And all that. She made like a big show of it. She only checked the doors though. Oops. She never mentioned the seals on the windows. That's correct. It's probably true that the seals on the doors and windows were perfectly secure when they were added. However, at the time of the logic error, you only confirmed the status of the seals on the doors. In other words, since the time Erica left the guest house, it was not forbidden for someone to break through the windows and leave whenever they wished. Now, I think like the red text makes this kind of confusing though. Umineko episode 6 red text. I want to get like a list here. Alright, I got one. Let me check this stuff real quick here. Okay, no, alright, it's fine. Okay, so in chapter 14, the learner says, by the seals on the doors and windows, the complete sealing of both the cousin room and the nest room will be guaranteed. So that says that they're both sealed. But when we actually check, let's see. I'm just speeding ahead a little bit here. So far, there's so many red texts in episode 6. Yep, please allow me to speak. Neither is broken. So they were checking Just the doors. Just the doors were checked. There you go. What do you say? I've got you now, haven't I? This is how you do things. Commander Delanor, it's nearly time. It seems the bride and groom have arrived. This ends our chat. We will meet again later. With a happy-looking grin on her face, Delanor turned around. Delanor hates Erica. She clearly likes Battler. It's good. I like her too. She's awesome. But that must have hit her where it hurts. Gap wouldn't let her get away. She grabbed the other shoulder. I think she knows that she's being used for, like, wicked means here, essentially, and she's kind of fighting in her own way. Wait there. Tell us whether or not the seals on the windows were still set at the time of the logic error. If you don't, anyone in that room could have saved Battler. And who do you think would have been capable of such a rescue? It doesn't matter who. Then, just by personal preference, I'll name Cannon-kun. He seems agile, and hiding his presence is a specialty. He's the perfect person to follow after Erica and quickly come to Battler-kun's rescue. Cannon? Impossible. Impossible? Come on, we can't trust what you say with normal words. Use the red truth. Swear upon that red longsword of yours. Miss Gap, a sacred wedding is about to begin here. You ask me to draw my sword in a sacred place such as this? How inelegant and rude. Let's do this some other time. Goodbye. It's possible for Cannon to save Battler. After Erica sealed the room, he left by the window, switched places with Battler come to the guest room, set the chain lock, and hid in the closet. Impossible. The window seals were also intact. Of course, this is at the time of the logic error. Oh, well, there you go. Gap's rapid reverse roundhouse that followed her blue wedge, crossed with Delanor's red longsword, and both pointed at the other's throat. The once peaceful mood of the wedding broke apart. Several guests whispered to each other, wondering why those two seemed to be fighting. It's the equivalent of, like, bringing out guns at a wedding, essentially. Okay, so you can counter that. Why didn't you just say so in the first place? We thought that Beatrice might eventually reach that thought, then barge into the wedding with that as the key to Battler's escape. I did not think that you would press us first, and force us to show our hand. You do fight dirty, don't you? You were trying to trap Beatrice by making her suspect the windows, then turn the tables on him. What else should a human who regards the bride be expected to do? Are you satisfied now? A demon world-style wedding is vulgar and barbaric. If you would excuse us. Wait up, you haven't fooled me yet. When you mentioned window seals just now, you were talking about the ones on the room where Cannon was, the cousin room, right? Then what about the windows on the next room over? All you've done is shown that the rescue would have been impossible for Cannon. There's still a chance for the humans in the next room over. How very persistent. We apologize for our rudeness. We are the Chester Sisters, Imperial Guards, in charge of security at the ceremony. I'm afraid I must ask you both for your stamped invitations. She takes the glasses off. Delanor A. Knox. I am with the bride's party. Here's my stamped invitation. Also, here are my credentials as bodyguard to the bride. So she's the bodyguard, I see. Confirmed as Chief Knox. Welcome to Lord Battler's wedding. I'm Gap. I'm with the groom's party. Here's my invitation, and... ah, crap. You didn't get it stamped at the reception desk yet. I came here directly, so I didn't go by the reception desk. It's still unstamped. Well, why do you always have to do that at times like this? Gap-sama, my apologies, but we'll have to ask you to come with us to a different room. Delanor watched, shrugged, and turned away. Wait there, Delanor. Respond to my blue truth. If you want the opinion of the Great Court of Heaven, please fill an application in accordance with court procedures. Allow me to speak. Know that the ticket window is open from 10 to 5 on weekdays. Lunch break runs from 12 to 1:15. Allow me to speak. Know that the use of white outer strike-throughs is not permitted while filling out forms. I love the whole Dwayne group. Iron Maiden is so great. There's a rumor that they refuse comic applications for the same thing, yeah. That's an urban legend. Probably. I'll just provisionally accept that blue truth verbally. It will be put on hold until the proper forms are received, and duplicate submissions are not allowed. I don't understand. Can you respond to my blue truth, or can't you? If you fill out the application on Monday, we should be able to have an answer for you by the end of next month. Duplicate submissions are forbidden, so the blue truth you just spoke will be unusable during this wedding ceremony. This is in accordance with the laws of evidence from the official Great Court Regulations, Article 214, Section 15, regarding the prevention of duplicate submissions. Please, allow me to speak. Know that it is forbidden for blue truth to be used if based on the argument that the window seals the net stream over were torn at the time of the logic error. Please, allow me to speak. Know that the opposing side is under no obligation to respond to the aforementioned blue truth. They just get to say no, basically. Cowards! Let go of me, Rabbit Band. Oh no. She said Rabbit Band. She spoiled it. She implied something. Not like it's really a big deal. But the Chester sisters are supposed to both represent the guns used in the crimes, as well as Maria's band of rabbits. Her little rabbits. You remember how Rosa shouted one of the rabbits? That's why one of the rabbits is dead. It does not appear in the story. The Chester sisters led Gap away. Just when she thought she'd reached the core, they'd underhandedly refused to respond. I feel like we're at the point now where I can say that stuff, for people who haven't really figured it out. However, this is a big clue. There's a chance that the window seal of the Nestrum over have been broken. In other words, it might be possible for Hideyoshi, George, Kumasawa, Shannon, and Nanjo to save Battler. And yet, just now, that move was sealed away. The use of any blue based on the window seals of the Nestrum over might have been broken. Has been prevented. It's now impossible to claim that the 5 who could have saved Battler were the ones who did it. Well, shit. What the hell? That's low. That's the answer, isn't it? I also noticed that they haven't proven that the window seals were intact. But if they can't use the blue truth, what are they supposed to do? Yeah, I know. I'm sure you're laughing at me again because you alone have discovered the answer. My apologies, child of man. I'm having trouble just as you are. I can't believe I'm hearing you say that. I also realized that the windows the Nestrum over were left available. However, I hadn't imagined that the use of that argument would be prevented. Doesn't this seriously violate the rules? I mean, how could a quiz be fair if you can't say the right answer? Isn't this a logic error for the other side? We can also view the fact that the tale is continuing as proof that it wasn't a logic error. In other words, there's some other answer completely unrelated to the windows of the Nestrum over. Or, it may be possible to explain, without discussing the windows, how one of those 5 came to Battler's rescue. If they can't talk about the windows, they'll have to find a different way to leave that room. That practically makes the Nestrum over a closed room. Yes, that is why I am also stuck. Because of these strange sealed proclamations, the 2 rooms have once again become closed rooms. Most likely what? If you're so vastly intelligent, what kind of answer have you found? There is no answer. No answer? What do you mean? There is no way out except for the windows of the Nestrum over, and yet we are not allowed to include those windows in our reasoning. There probably is no answer for this closed room. And if so, what next? Since no answer exists, then defeat is absolutely certain for whichever player is burdened with the responsibility of explaining. So we have no moves left? In other words, that statement of Delano was the final blow? Doesn't this make it checkmate? No, one move does exist. However, that move is one that can never be used again. And it is also a part of Beato's heart. You mean, one of the greatest riddles of this tale? Precisely. By using that, or possibly, feathering side deeply, there's something she hadn't done once before now. I see. So, as long as this tale has been, it is finally time for the curtain to close. Exposing the answer to this riddle means the same as finally killing Beato. But perhaps Battler is the only one qualified to make that decision. If he weaves such a tale as the Game Master, no one will be able to stop it now. The greatest riddle of this tale will probably be revealed very soon. Battler may have already known a way out of this, but it seems like he doesn't really want to use it. A deep sound reverberated through the cathedral. It was the sound of the several dozen? There's not that many of them. Chester Sisters Imperial Guards, members of the Honor Guard, who stood in line across the cathedral and stamped their heels in unison. It brought about total silence even before the demons running the ceremony spoke. Let us have silence, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the wedding of Lord Battler, Territorial Lord and Golden Sorcerer, and Lady Erica, the Witch of Truth. Zephyr and Furford appeared in the center of the cathedral. Having them invited to host a wedding was a great honor. Though they had asked for silence, the attendants who packed the cathedral welcomed the 2 demons with an enormous applause. Shouldn't you guys be watching that duel? Oh, it's Zephyr and Furfur. Then what about Beato? She may have already snuck onto the grounds. They searched for Beato in the crowd of several hundred people, but they couldn't find her anywhere. I wonder if Beato managed to find a way to save Battler could. If she managed to gain Zephyr and Furfur's power, then I'm sure she has. There exists no miracle that cannot be gained after receiving their strength. And if she didn't, then that goat biting his handkerchief over there is probably her. Cuckoo. Then let us welcome the bride and groom. Please give them a grand welcome and celebrate them as they start on their new life. Come out, bride and groom. Erica pushes up Battler in a wheelchair. Walk the path of the shackles called marriage, which will bind you until the grave. The big doors in the back of the cathedral slowly opened. And then, the territory lord and his beautiful bride came into view. Arm in arm, the pair slowly began to walk down the path to the grave lined with red carpet. The Chester honor guards stood at attention along either side of that path, raised their adorned bayonets with mechanical precision, and made sure that no evil could block the path that the pair walked down. Chester's sisters that weren't part of the honor guard were stationed all over the cathedral, hiding behind pillars and the like, keeping an eye out for any intruders. 00 calling 45 and 410. Any irregularities? Ceiling snipers, all clear, yeah. 410 and 45 were on top of a massive chandelier hanging from the cathedral ceiling. How are they going to do this during stage play? Several other snipers could be seen stationed on top of other chandeliers. The seemingly festive cathedral was actually being heavily guarded in places that the attendants wouldn't notice. Currently, we are simultaneously targeting 36 attendants suspected of being Lady Beatrice, as well as 131 in position from which an attack might be launched, civilians in progress. I thought they were going to invite her though. Don't let your guard down. Lady Beatrice will almost certainly stage an attack on this wedding. That'd be so cool, breaking in and steal the bride, yeah. 410, he's the groom, not the bride. But he's playing the bride's part, yeah. Eehee. Why is Battler not in a dress? I feel like Eric will look fine in a suit. The Chester sniper teams on the chandeliers use super high efficiency observers to track the movements of the several hundred attendants. If any one of those made any suspicious movements, the Chesters have been given permission to fire immediately. The one on that chandelier is Chester 127. That ever-killing monster sniper could vulverize a human tiger from 2 kilometers away. The one on the chandelier across from that is Chester 20. Her fire rate is 6,000 shots per minute. However, she's using a portable magazine this time, so 2 seconds is all it'll take for her to use up all her ammo. Lazy Bum can barely do her job for 2 seconds, yeah. Slowly, and making a show of it, the two walked down the red carpeted path. Battler's eyes were blank. If you look closely, you could probably tell that Eric was dragging him by the arm she held. In other words, they weren't walking together. This was a ceremony for Erica to show off to everyone that this man belonged to her. Behind the bride and groom walked the 7 Sisters of Purgatory, who had long, ceremonial arms in the shape of the one-winged eagle. That moron Battler. What's he lazing about for? This is why people call him incompetent. I can understand Beatrice Summer's pain better than anyone else. It's all because that stupid Battler caused a logic error. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Beatrice Summer will not fall to sloth and let this wedding go on. Of course. Beatrice Summer is greedy. She won't let someone else take away her favorite toy. She'll definitely show up. I hear the reception's gonna have tons of delicious food. I want to wear a wedding dress now. Vern Costello and Len the Delta were in the nobles seating on the balcony. They were sipping some bizarre carbonated cocktails as they looked down upon the show. What a splendid wedding dress. I love stuff like this. This is just the opening performance. That's pretty cruel. What event do you think will be the headliner? Don't tell me you really think Beata will come. As you know as well, Battler's closed room is perfect. How could Beata win? Right? You must have heard too. There's a chance that the window seal in the room next door has been torn. It seems that Deliner has managed to seal that path off for now, but she just denied the concept instead of sealing the actual window. It'll fly out the window again. This one-winged eagle thing. Wanna bet? On whether Beato comes? I bet she comes with certainty. I bet she comes miraculously. This isn't going to work. The Witch of Certainty and the Witch of Miracles were both sure that Beato would come. However, they were very interested in exactly how she would break the closed room and take Battler back. You've been watching from behind the scenes, so you probably know. You know what the trick is. More or less. But Erica's done a hell of a job, so now even I'm stumped. Liar. Huh? I'm sure you found one already. There does exist a trick that can save Battler, right? There does. But it's tough. And if that move is used, part of Beato's heart will be exposed. Isn't that right? Oh, so you already know. Hey, wanna change our bet? To what? To whether Beato or Erica wins. Sure, if you're willing to bet on Erica. I'll do it. Oh, you are betting on Erica. And why do you think you can win? If this trick is a part of Beato's heart, and Battler, the game master, will hesitate at exposing it, and so they cannot win. It will probably be a draw. I'm sure they'll sidestep the issue somehow and run away. Battler is sworn to let Beato rest in peace. Baron, you're being too naive. The bet was made, based on the assumption of that certain miracle that Beato would come. Virgilia, who was standing in the front view, tried to call out as soon as Battler walked by. She tried to tell him that the window seal in the next room hadn't been checked, hoping that this would give him a hint. However, she had been marked perfectly. The instant she tried to lean forward, two Chester sisters right behind her grabbed her arms. That powerful force told her that she wouldn't be able to move even a step forward. Trapped, she was forced to stand there and watch as Battler walked past. Battler couldn't. Even now, he is sweating in that closed room all by himself. However, he cannot get out by his own power alone. Unless someone comes to save him, he cannot get out. Unless that child comes to save him, Battler couldn't be trapped. If there is a key to that closed room, I'm certain my lady will find it. My lady, I am sure you have gone through many trials in your life. But please, this is one trial that you must overcome. I'm certain that you can do it. I, Runabe, do not doubt that in the slightest. The bride and groom's procession slowly advanced down the path to the grave and reached the altar. Though walking slowly was ceremonious and proper etiquette, it was also tiring. Erica glanced over at Battler. Of course, his eyes were blank. His heart was still inside that closed room. Once more, the sound of the Chester honor guard stamping their heels rang out loudly. Silence returned to the cathedral again. Now, the wedding ceremony would finally begin. People live for the sake of love. Therefore, today, you'll fulfill the purpose of your lives. Oh, how great is the power to live, the power of love. I pray that the brightness of this day blesses these two for all time. Come now, you who love one another, make the oath of love. In the place of the husband who cannot speak, let the wife make the oath on behalf of the pair. Battler swears to Erica, and Erica swears to Battler, to support each other, both in sickness and in health. I didn't catch that, Battler's son. If you have some objection, please say it a bit more clearly, in a loud voice. Damn it. If you have anything further to say, please get yourself out of that logic error closed room first. Don't worry, I'll support you until that day comes. You have heard the pair's oath of love. Oh, let this oath be eternal. The thunderous applause celebrated their marriage of subordination. After the oath, it would symbolize the bond. It was the exchange of the rings. The Territorial Lord's ring with the one-winged eagle engraved on it, that sat in Battler's finger, would become Erica's. By this, she would become the ruler of this game board. And in exchange, Battler's finger would be given a diamond ring that Erica had prepared. At a glance, it just looked like a ring adorned by a large diamond. However, this cursed ring would force Battler into eternal subservience and mark him as another's property. Yes, let the pair exchange rings. Since the husband's fingers cannot move, let his wife support him. Erica respectfully took Battler's right hand, then slowly pulled off the Territorial Lord's ring that had been on his ring finger. That was the ring Beato had entrusted him with. Erica stole it away. This is the ring that woman left behind, right? Hehehe. How does it feel to have that stolen away by a woman like me? Huh? I can't hear you. Please say it one more time. One of my cats just took a shit. I'll be right back. I have to deal with it. Good time for a short break anyway. Let me get a coffee. Let me use the bathroom. We'll come back and we'll push through. I'll be right back. I'm here. Let's see. I have a queue of things to deal with. First of all, Rika is here? No, that's another map pat. Here she is. Okay. There we go. I think that's perfect. You can see how messy my floor is. I really need to vacuum sometime, I know. Believe me, I know. The whole place is a mess. I'm trying to see here. Okay. I'm visible, I think. Yeah? Yeah. Like a week or so ago, I used that exercise spike that you can kind of vaguely see there for like half an hour while playing Monster Hunter. Try to do that again someday soon when there's no one around to do anything else with. I really gotta get a little bit in shape. I don't try very hard with that really. It's pretty bad. Let's see. Really about right. Okay. Deep breaths. Huh? I can't hear you. Please say it one more time. Oh yeah, I like Monster Hunter a lot. Monster Hunter World's been quite fun. More fun than I thought it would be, honestly. I should really give more weapons a chance though. I basically just play the bow because it's like super straightforward and safe. So maybe I'm not really engaging with it as much as I could. Go to hell. Oh, that. Well, then there's no need to worry about Wasan. Erika pressed her lips up against Battler's earlobe as if biting it, and told him where they were. We're already there. Then slowly, she took Beatrice's ring, which she had stolen from Battler, and slipped it onto her own left hand. And now, bride, you may give the groom your ring. That's one hell of a ring. A shackle that'll hold him in place for all time. Yeah, it's custom made. Even Battler's blank eyes could see the diamond ring Erika held. It was like Erika herself. On the outside, it shone beautifully, and possessed an absolute hardness that would bend to no one's will. And on the inside, to symbolize never letting go of the prey it latched onto, had 8 sharp thorns pointing inwards. If they had been growing out of the outer side, it would have looked like the color of a guard dog from hell. However, who heard of putting those on the inside? By twisting the diamond, those thorns could slide in or out. In other words, if you twisted it after thrusting the finger inside, the inward-facing thorns would bite down, never releasing until the end of time. Then, even his soul would be trapped, and his body, mind, and soul would be forced to serve Erika for all eternity. Are you kidding me? Who the hell would wear a ring like that? He couldn't even finish speaking that simple phrase. And furthermore, those awkward words were the only way he could resist. She raised Battler's left hand and stroked his ring finger as if tasting it. Erika pressed the ring of subordination against the tip of his finger. If a ring is made to fit too tightly, it can be painful and hard to take off. However, this ring was never intended to be removed for life anyway, so its inner band had been mercilessly narrowed. Even without the thorns, forcing a small ring like this on would hurt. This ring will seal up your body, heart, and soul for all eternity, and you'll become an eternal living doll. I won't even let you die. You'll be endlessly defiled and humiliated by me, and every time I forget the taste of victory, I'll use your body to remind me, over and over again. If you've got the guts to bite off your tongue, now's the time. Once this goes near your finger, you won't even be able to do that. That one didn't even have the strength to bite his tongue. Even if he had, he didn't want to give up before finding a way to escape the closed room, so he couldn't kill himself. However, if he accepted the ring, he would never be able to even think about escaping from the room, much less commit suicide. Stop it. No way. Look, I'm sticking your finger in. Yeah, it hurts. How did we get here from the room again? Umineko moves fast, okay? At one point, people were playing a prank on a girl who washed up on the shore, almost drowned. You know, a few hours later, she kills them all and puts their bodies in trash bags, and then, you know, not too long after that, she's getting married to one of the people she killed. That's just how it is. Actually, no, well, she couldn't kill Valor, but she was going to. It wasn't just the pain of having his finger forced through the tight ring. The curse of the ring fiercely tormented Valor's body from the inside. That pain would always torment Valor. But fortunately, the power of the ring even stole away the heart that could understand that pain. Erica kept screwing that too small demon's ring on. It hurts. It's impossible. There's no way it'll fit. Don't worry. It will fit. No problem. With an obscene laugh, Erica let a silver thread drip from her mouth and soaked the finger in the ring. Please relax. We'll stick it in all at once. Please don't resist uselessly. It'll hurt less if you don't resist, okay? You see, now it's sliding right in. No. Slowly, Valor's finger went deeper through the ring. It was pushed through the iron ring of pain and humiliation, which would never be removed again. Oh. Come on, look, okay? It's in all the way to the base. See? It hurts. It hurts. Take it off. The demon's ring tightened around the finger, so much that it seemed the finger would snap off along with the bone. Could Valor's hazy expression of anguish really describe how unbearable this filthy pain was? Okay, now that it's on all the way, let's add the final touch, shall we? After this, you'll be mine forever. Erica touched the ring's diamond knob. If she twisted it, the thorns would bite in and never let go again. No, stop it. Sure. Just say, forgive me, Erica-sama, and I'll stop. But really? Please forgive me, Erica-sama. I swore to spend the rest of my life as your dog, with a collar around my neck, so at least spare me that ring. If you can say that, I won't make you wear the ring. Forgive... Huh? I can't really hear you. I won't forgive you. I'll never forgive you. For making you suffer like this? No, I'll never forgive you for defiling Bioto's ring. Though Valor's eyes had supposedly been forced into a muddled condition, he appeared strong for just an instant. However, it really was only for an instant. Valor used up the last of his fleeting resistance just to say those words. In his dim consciousness, he had even bitten his own tongue to stay alert, so that he could say those words of resistance until the very end. Of course, it seems you aren't the kind of dog that can be tamed, but it's better that way. Erica smiled. Then she turned the diamond. In that instant, Valor let out a voiceless scream and threw his head back. Yeah. His howl had no voice and could be heard by no one. However, it still rang out through the cathedral. Oh, I can't believe Umineko ends like this. There was never an episode 7 or 8. But I really just do love how many situations Umineko has that you could show an outsider and say, there's no way that this gets resolved, like it ends here. And they'd probably believe you if they didn't know. There's just so many places like that. A dreary breeze blew through the golden rose garden. I should save. Oh yeah, Real mentioned this last time. After Erica killed the people pretending to play dead, this is what they look like in the menu. So, there's that. Yep, the most perfect kind of corpse. That's one way to identify it. And, I'll try to remember to show Erica in the dress when she comes up. Also, I guess, let's see what they look like here. Oh my god, ugh. It's a little bit unpleasant. Okay. Shannon and Ken had already finished walking 19 steps, their backs still facing each other. When the demons conducting the trial gave the signal, they would both turn and settle this. Each had one of the dueling pistols given by the demons in their hands. The bullets promised certain death no matter where on the body they hit. This duel would not end until one of them died. George and Jessica just quietly watched the ones they loved. They'd already entrusted all their thoughts to them, as well as their fates. Just watching over their partners was now the only way they could show their trust. Shannon and Cannon stood quietly with their backs turned. They had already set aside the feelings they built up during those days they'd known each other. The next time they laid eyes on the other, nothing would be asked of them except pulling that trigger. The only one who still couldn't muster any determination or resolve towards this duel was Beato. The closer that moment came, the less they understood. The love standing between George and Shannon wasn't standing in the way of the love between Jessica and Cannon, or vice versa. Why, when both sides could find happiness, were they being forced to kill each other? I don't understand. I just can't understand. Little sister, we are not permitted to do anything but watch. Step-our-san, Perf-our-san. Why? Why this duel? This is no trial of love. You really are demons. You just want to enjoy watching one of the pairs fall apart, don't you? Silence. You'll get in the way of the lovers. You're the ones getting in their way. One will fall. The one who loves that person will grieve. If only you two weren't around, no one would be sad. That is not true. If we hadn't set up this duel, then both pairs would have fallen apart. This duel is necessary. I haven't been able to accept that since the beginning. You say their love can't be successful without a miracle of magic? What does love need other than two people who love each other? This duel is meaningless. So stop it, you two. Shannon and Cannon both. Why must you fight each other to the death, when you were once as close as true siblings? I just can't understand. Everyone should have been able to hear Beato's yell. However, no one's expression changed. That's right. I'm impressed that you noticed. This is love's truth. What is? Normally, love needs nothing more than two people who love each other. Therefore, when there are two people, we must use a duel to make that number become two. I could understand if it were a duel between two people fighting over one woman. If it were a duel to cut three people in love down to two. But here we have two pairs of people. The world formed by each pair is complete, isn't it? There's nothing compelling them to fight. The minimum number of people that can create a world is two. A world can only be born, love can only be fulfilled, when two people gather. That's why this duel is necessary. So that they can get up to that number of people. Are you saying that furniture is subhuman, so they don't count as a single person? Exactly. Furniture is subhuman. That's why furniture and human cannot add up to two people. That's insane. Status has nothing to do with it. If both of them love each other. No, it does. It does. You've probably been viewing furniture the wrong way this whole time. There's certainly another word that could be used as a synonym for it. Real, don't say anything. Do you really think that the status of a pair of lovers doesn't matter? Is a man who has a wife allowed to love someone else? Is a woman who has a husband allowed to love someone else? Are you allowed to fall in love with your parents? Are you allowed to fall in love with your children? Then just what is furniture? Why mustn't furniture fall in love? Because their soul is less than a single person. Shannon, Cannon, and of course the piece that you are. All of you are furniture, subhuman beings who possess less than a single person's soul. To be qualified to love a human, you need only one thing. The possession of a single person's soul. That's why a pair in love can create a world. For example, do you think a man with a wife has the right to love another woman? Of course not. If you love two women, neither would get a full person's worth of love. A man such as that would be unworthy of love. See? There are plenty of statuses in humans who have no right to love a person. As long as both people feel love, nothing else matters. That's just the hypocrisy of naive love. We cannot forgive humans who falsely pretend that they have the right to love. We cannot forgive the love of subhuman beings, of those who don't make up the minimum number of people required to create a world. That is the purpose of our trial. It is to let the sinful souls regain complete soul, and become capable of true love. Yeah, but really, you know too much. You gotta be careful what you say. Sepper-sama, Perf-sama. Our hearts are ready. Please give the signal to start the duel. The pair bidding farewell quietly asked for the signal to be given. Zipper nodded silently, then walked to a place that could be seen by both of them. Perf spoke in a voice quiet enough to avoid distracting the two duelists. Watch. Watch the duel to see which the two lovers will fall apart? No. This isn't a duel to see who falls apart. This is a duel to make true love succeed. I don't understand what you two are saying. No, you must understand. This marks the birth of a human who can truly love another. I don't understand. No matter which wins, please support them. Right now, their days as furniture will end. The signal is simple. I will count to 3. When I reach 3, the duel will commence. Understood. Same here. If both miss, the duel will be temporarily suspended. You'll be given bullets again, and we'll start over from the beginning, with your backs to each other. I guess it'll repeat until it's all settled. Zephyr, have you seen this sort of duel many times in the past? Of course, I've seen many of them. Usually, how many times do they need to face off before it's over? In almost all cases, it's decided in the first round. They must all be really good shots. That's not it. If one side misses, the other can corner them at their leisure and shoot. If the first bullet misses, then you lost your chance at victory. However, if you take too long, you'll lose before you can even pull the trigger. If you're going to lose anyway, you'd at least want to pull the trigger first. The resolve is good, you two. Then, let's go. I'll show off that CG afterwards. Thank you. 1. 2. 3. In the Golden Rose Garden, when the number 3 was yelled, the sound of gunfire rang out at once. Even the people watching couldn't tell whether that was a single gun firing, or the sound of both going off at the same time. In the midst of the stench of gunpowder and white smoke, there, with gun raised and smoke trailing the barrel, was Cannon. And, lying in the earth, was Shannon. Shannon, son. Here you go, here's your CG. Here you go. Oh, I need to move map head down a pixel or two. He's like, off. Hold on a sec. Properties, no, not properties. Transform? Transform. There we go. Shannon-san. No, Shannon fell before the gun fired. Gah. Jessica's distressed expression was enough to explain what had happened. Slowly, Shannon stood up. There was no bullet wound anywhere on her body. At the time of the signal, Shannon had thrown herself to the ground, dodging the bullet. It had been a bet. If Cannon had turned around and taken the time to aim carefully before shooting, then he would have shot her as she lay there. However, if Cannon shot as soon as he turned around, she would be able to dodge it. Cannon had also made a bet. He did not underestimate Shannon's skill with a firearm. He was fully aware that, if he assumed Shannon would be timid enough to let him shoot first, he would lose before even pulling the trigger. So, he decided to shoot right away, and he'd predicted that when he shot, Shannon would reflexively pull the trigger too. Since he had intended to shoot right away, he would be more mentally prepared, so he was confident they'd be able to shoot accurately. If Cannon had cautiously turned around, and Shannon had shot instantly with the strength of her will, then Cannon wouldn't have even been able to pull the trigger. So, no impatience on Cannon's part was to blame here. The two had simply given it their all, left their fates to the heavens, and reached this result. Ah, I see, okay. So afterwards it reveals what had actually been the case here. I see. Got it. I didn't imagine that my quick-tempered Nay-san wouldn't shoot at all. I'm surprised too. To think that old prudent Ken would shoot as soon as he turned. As Shannon quietly pointed the barrel at him, she slowly walked forward. She planned on cautiously closing the gap until she reached a distance from which she could hit with even more certain accuracy. And Cannon had already lost any means of fighting back. He could only try to dodge Shannon's bullet and place his bet in the second round. If they both thought this, then what happened next would turn that assumption on its head. This isn't over yet. Cannon dashed forward like a tornado, bent over so low that he was almost crawling over his shadow. This duel could only be settled by a bullet, but he wasn't the only one who had a bullet. If he could steal Shannon's gun away from her, he could turn this fight around. And if Shannon calmly shot through cannon, it would end. The odds that Shen would miss, or that he could get close enough to her before she fired... I don't mind the yapping. I know what you mean, though. Cannon would bet all the chips he had on them. Shannon could draw cannon in until the last second, then shoot him from closer distance. If she pulled the trigger just before he reached her, then even if she missed, they would just start again from the beginning. Besides, I like all the mental stuff that he goes and explains. Umineko would not be Umineko without the monologue. Shannon kept her gun pointing at Cannon's forehead as she compared these options until the final moment. She let her shot, calculating the distance he had already moved and the time it would take to pull the trigger. I feel like if Umineko ever gets another anime, it needs to be twice as long. And it needs to have a narrator like JoJo or Kaiji that does all this stuff. The goddess of fortune smiles impartially. Whoa. No. Surviving past the final moment Shannon could have shot, Cannon barreled into her chest. He then swung his hand up and knocked the gun Shannon held into the air. That strike sent Shannon's gun flying to the sky. At the same time, Cannon's gun also flew from his hand and danced through the air. The two guns danced around through the sky, reached their peak, and began to fall. By that time, neither knew whose gun was which. The two guns were exactly the same. Everything about them was identical. There was no way to tell them apart. However, there was one difference. Only one of them had a bullet inside. The pair raised their hands to the sky, trying to grasp their fate, their miracle. It was as though they were trying to grasp the wings of a descending angel of miracles. The pair looked up at the brilliant sky and entrusted everything to the goddess of fortune. Then they each grabbed one of the guns out of the air, and after dancing a momentary rondo, their arms crossed each other. Even that had been like a dance. Then they each pressed the barrel of their gun up against the other's forehead, both as steady as a rock. Even they could not know which gun held the bullet. When they both pressed the triggers, one would die and one would remain alive. The match would end. George and Jessica wouldn't know the result until that moment came. However, was it really impossible for the two holding their guns to know? The muzzle of Cannon's gun, which had already been fired, must have been warm. And the muzzle of the other gun, which Shannon hadn't fired, should have been ice cold. So perhaps the pair of them did realize which gun was which. And yet, both expressions were solemn. The faces of those who would believe in their fate, unswervingly until the moment the triggers were pulled. Don't be sad. We'll meet again soon, in the Golden Land. We should have done this much sooner. If only we had, our reunion could have been avoided entirely. It's alright. Considering what day this is, even this duel is just a farce. You're right. If we're just going to revive in the Golden Land anyway, it really is just a farce. Then I'll see you later. Yeah, you too. So long. Cannon-kun? Hey, what's going on? Hang in there. Suddenly, Cannon fell to the floor as if he'd had an attack of anemia. It had happened without any warning beforehand, so everyone rushed up to him in alarm. What they saw surprised them. There was a single strand of blood across his forehead, making it look as though it had cracked open. Huh? How? What happened? What's going on? Trying to get a look at the wound, Koro wiped Cannon's forehead with a handkerchief. However, his forehead was perfectly smooth, without any trace of a wound. And yet, blood was pouring out, almost as though it was seeping through his skin. But what are you doing? Stop the bleeding already. But, even though there's no wound, the blood won't stop coming. Hang in there, Cannon-kun. Cannon-kun. Yoshia-kun. Cannon's forehead was pale, and though his eyes were open, they had lost the light of the living. Just like a puppet whose strings had been cut, he had passed away. Do you really have to get up there right now? Okay, that's fine, you're not in the way there. Yoshia-kun, Yoshia-kun. Wah. So long, Cannon-kun. And thank you. Jessica dashed up to Cannon's corpse, held it, pressed her forehead against his, and as the still hot blood was smeared over her forehead as well, she sobbed. Shannon. George-san, we've won. Now I finally have the right to love you. Shannon leaned against George's chest, as though the strings holding her up had been cut. Stop looking at me like that. George held her in silence. Yoshia-kun, Yoshia-kun. Wow. There was nothing in the golden rose garden except the wind that carried golden flower petals, and the sound of Jessica's grieving sobs. Stop staring at me like that. Is your trial for us finished now? It is. Congratulations. You two were the ones who remained. We will give you our blessing, but please don't forget, you are now responsible for nurturing your love. Please, take good care of the seed of love that this miracle has created. Of course, I swear it to her and you two. And now let Shannon have the miracle of magic. Now your soul will become human. You'll become a single person. Gather in complete souls, become one and know love. When Zephyr and Furfur faced the heavens and yelled, the miracle of love, gathered the souls around Shannon. They came from the losers of the trial, from Cannon, who had been defeated, and from Beato, who had dropped out. Slowly, the bodies of the two began to break down into flecks of gold dust. What's going on here? No one ever said that the losers would disappear. As she yelled, Beato the Elder supported the body of her fading little sister. However, the two demons were smiling quietly. Furniture has a partial soul. Let's just say it's an incomplete soul. Cannon has disappeared because he died. Beato was born to love Battler and is disappearing because she has lost the qualifications to do that. I will say that right here is a hint. That's not quite why Beato's disappearing. I guess kind of. Kind of. But think about why Beato has to disappear here. It is quite fair. If you'd survived, the other two would have vanished. Hang in there, little sister. Hang in there. Weren't you going to stop Bauer's closed room and save him? What are you doing, getting finished off in a place like this? You call yourself a part of our complete form? Why was I born for the purpose of loving Battler-san? Why do I love Battler-san? The truth is, I don't know. Why I started to love him. What? Why are you saying this now? After all, when I was born, I was told to love Battler-san and be loved by him. That was my purpose. So, I don't really know why I love him. People don't need a reason to love each other. Don't disappear. If you disappear, who will save Battler? Little sister, Beato. Beatrice. Beatrice. There has to be at least one every episode. Why is it that I love Battler-san? Mother? Well, I'm actually not a big fan of the family-oriented type of girl. You see how crude I am, right? I just can't handle acting politely in front of girls, lady first and all that stuff. So if I just say what type I liked, well, I'd probably like a Jessica-ish girl. If I'm crude, why shouldn't she be too? It'd probably be perfect to have a rough, relaxed relationship where you can mess around without worrying about gender and be rude with no worries. So if I ever get a girlfriend, I hope it's someone I can joke around with all the time. Huh? What would she look like? Can't say I care much either way. Now, if she did happen to be a glamorous woman, blonde and bouncy with blue eyes like in Western films, that'd be awesome. I'd love to rub those boobs. Wahahaha. Oh, classic Battler. Beatrice, listen. I'm giving you my love for Ishimiya Battler. Become the kind of woman Battler wants. Take the golden hair he likes. Take the blue eyes he likes. Take this personality that matches his. And then, you must love him in my place. What's going on here is very important. It's not just like symbolic for something. What you're seeing here really happened. And then, if possible, you must be loved by him. I can no longer love him. Please, take my feelings that went unfulfilled, my feelings that I couldn't hold back, and make my wish come true. From this day forward, you are no longer the Rakenjima ghost that lives only to play pranks. From this day forward, you'll become the master of this island and wait for the day that he comes to fulfill his promise. From this day forward, you will do this in my place. So from this day forward, you will no longer be me. Please forgive me for pushing all my worries onto you, while I alone try to find happiness. From this day forward, you have the right to hate everything. From this day forward, you are the Golden Witch, Beatrice. And one day, you'll destroy everything, revive everything. You'll bring blessings to all lovers. When that happens, I pray that you and I will both succeed in finding happiness. From this day forward, you will no longer be me. From this day forward, I will no longer be you. The two of us will split apart a single soul and share it. And though, of course, neither of us will possess a complete soul, I'm sure our dreams will be more numerous than those of humans. Let us be blessed, my dear Beatrice. But no one will be able to see your form. However, I alone can see you. And if you are loved by many people, I'm sure that everyone will be able to see you someday. With love, they will be able to see us. Yoshia-kun. Are we dreaming? Insane. What kind of joke is this? Well, get Dr. Nanjo. Call Dr. Nanjo here. Goda, that is enough. Genji, who had been calm and silent through the whole thing, finally spoke. And his were the most reasonable words spoken. If they called Nanjo here, then what? Not only was there no arm to take the pulse of, there wasn't even a forehead to feel the heat of. Like leftover snow on a spring day, Kennen's form had been, by now, not even a trace remained. His form had sparkled with a spray of gold, finishing completely. Where? Where did he go? Where's Yoshia-kun? Yoshia-kun! Yoshia-kun! So long, my lady. No, Jessica. He called her Jessica. Not even Jessica-san. Kennen-san. By now, no one's eyes can see us. That means that we're no longer in their world. However, we are right here. You're right. We are here. For us, a body is nothing more than a cage made of flesh. There's no need to be sad. But I do feel sad for her. For Jessica-san. This is all my sin. This is why furniture isn't supposed to love. What will you do now? Though I lost my form, though I can no longer talk to her, even though if Jessica ever talks to me, I can do nothing except nod behind her back, I will be by her side. I think that's wonderful. What will you do? I want to save Balor-san from a closed room. A closed room? After looking a bit taken aback, Kennen laughed gently. Beata, who hadn't expected to be laughed at, looked a little sour. Why are you laughing? This is very important to me. But it's a closed room. That's something for humans with bodies to worry about, right? Huh? Ah. We've already been released from our cage of flesh. How could a closed room hinder us? Are you sure about that? I mean, there's a chain lock and packing tape seals and red truth. I see. So you aren't a being from the world of pieces, but a higher level world. That means your limitations are different from ours, or so I hear. Ah, well. Kennen stretched. Looked as though he was about to head out somewhere. Kennen-san, seeing as you're a felon loser, okay, I'll go for you. I'll go to the guest room in the mansion, let Balor-san out, set the chain behind me, and hide in the closet in his place. Is that enough? I'm glad with the sentiment. However, even if you wanted to leave the cousin room, because of Erika-san's seals, unlike the nest room over, the cousin room containing Kennen was a guaranteed complete closed room, even counting the windows. Not only did he have no way to save Balor, he couldn't even escape himself. In that case, use your magic to give me power. My magic? Yeah, use your magic on me. But wait, I don't even know how. Aren't you Beatrice, the Golden Witch? I'm a witch, but, I don't even know about closed room tricks, much less magic. What are you good for? the two qualities you'd want in a woman. Closed rooms and magic. You bring nothing to the table, Beatrice. Okay. Listen up, Beatrice. I'll only tell you this once. This is what a witch is. What a witch is? A witch is not the one who solves puzzles. Not the one who solves puzzles? Yeah, that's right. If you're a witch, why are you clutching at your head because of someone else's puzzles? That's not a witch's job, right? Then what is a witch's job? The Golden Witch I know, Would have used insane magic to create a puzzle that no one could understand, confusing everyone and sneering. Create a horrible riddle that no one can get, spin everyone around and badmouth them. You weren't supposed to clutch at your head worrying about your opponent's puzzles. That's your opponent's job. Worrying is my opponent's job. Don't worry about how your battler got out of the closed room. A chain-locked closed room? How trivial. You need to create a much more spectacular ultimate closed room, and make it so that they're the ones worrying. I'll even lend a hand. I'm not the one who worries. That's for them to do. It's about time they learn the true terror of the Golden Witch Beatrice, the one who can create endless closed room tricks of the most horrific kind. Tricks that can make even the demons of hell prostrate themselves in shock. A closed room even more horrific than Battler sounds. We've already gotten our hands on one, haven't we? A horrific closed room. Ah! In the back of Beatrice's mind, images she remembered began to flit by, one after another. The mansion, the guest house, the rose garden. Trick, mistake, lure, taunt, trap, laugh together. Do you know about this trick? I think I've seen something like it in the books before. Beato's eyes opened wider and wider. Countless lights circled around her, swelling her up. And one more thing. But what? That's no way for the Witch of Closed Rooms to talk. So after all, I must be... Haha, me. Beatrice is back. The marriage ceremony ended without any problems, and the reception was held inside the cathedral. As the goat demons partied raucously, the lander could be seen leaning against a pillar, trying to escape from the noise. Then Gertrude appeared and whispered some kind of report to her. Is that true? Allow me to speak. Aide Cornelia is currently heading towards the scene. I suggest that Lady Erica be contacted as well. Understood. I will tell her. Gertrude, contact the head of ceremony security. Prepare for battle. As you wish. I apologize for interrupting your chat. I'm in charge of security for this ceremony. Huh? Is it me? Do you want something? Oh, I see. Yeah, okay, sure, I can show that off too. Cute. We have a CG from the earlier scene where Battler had the ring put on. It's fun. There you go. Or Bride Battler. Huh? Is it me? Do you want something? I told you were going too far. Champagne tower bowling was always a bad idea. Looks like it's time for scolding. Yes, I just called Bat with the bride. Do you have a problem with that? Hey, Burn! Hey, what's going on? Did I do something wrong? The reception desk has received an envelope from an unknown sender addressed to Lady Lambda Delta. I always ignore anonymous calls and letters. Just throw it away. But please look at this. What's that? Did you tell anyone you received this? No, only the two sisters at the reception desk and I know. They have already been ordered to keep silent. The instant she saw that envelope, when the Delta snatched it away and lowered her voice. Fern Castell walked away and was apparently making fun of Erica. Fern, and of course Erica, were both drunk. If they were left alone, they'd probably forget about this. It's true that this envelope has no sender written on it. However, the seal done on it in gold leaf fulfills the same purpose. The seal is... When the Delta hid behind a pillar, ripped the envelope open, took out its contents and read them. Her eyes instantly started to glint, and she smiled like a kid who's just thought of a nasty trick. What is to be done? The sniper team is carrying red warheads. If you give her permission, I'll give the order to load them. What are you talking about? Do you realize how important these guests are? If a stray bullet hits one of these attendants, all the new Chester sisters will be sent straight from the factory to the guillotine for the next 10 years. Understood. We will intercept with regular warheads. So we post watches around the Seven Sisters of Purgatory? Why do we need those? After all, the seven stakes are Battlers, and now Erica's furniture. Why don't we post watches around our allies? Just make sure security is nice and tight. Just now, we received a recommendation from Assistant Inquisitor Gertrude suggesting we make preparations for battle. Her reasons are unknown. From Gertrude? Then follow that recommendation. Party's more fun once you liven things up. Understood. 00 calling. Chester 17, Chester 38, Chester 45, code R, be on your guards. Transmitting level 2 alert. 17, copy. 38, copy. 45, understood. It'd have been so much cooler if you'd said copy 2, yeah. I just got nervous. Understandable, relatable. Ah, right. 45, come over here a second. What is it? Hey, we're on the job. Stop, don't play with my ears. Your ears. Better hold them down, yeah. One more gets shown off. I've actually shown her off at one point. She's in the first set of 4 novels as an Easter egg that you can see in the menu. And I'm not sure if there's any more past the 4, considering what they represent. I almost want to say there might be something in one of the weird side novels. I think you see the dead Chester in there as well, but I'm not sure. Side novels are weird. What did you say? You're kidding, right? That's impossible. Cornelia is heading there now. The odds of Beatrice attacking her are extremely high. I recommend suspending the reception and evacuating. What's going on, Erica? Something going wrong with the entertainment? No, my master. Please continue to enjoy the reception. Hey, somebody, let's get Lady Bryn-Castell some more dried plum wine. Erica didn't have time to hide her agitation. When Bryn-Castell saw this, she knew that their final late guest had finally arrived. Lucine, I hear there's been some movement in the guest house. The guest house? Who cares about the game board now? Well, they're saying that Cannon can disappear from the cousin room. What? Are you a moron? The cousin room is a perfect closed room with the door and all the windows perfectly sealed. It's impossible for him to escape. No, I've been snooping about as well. There's no mistake. Cannon has disappeared from the cousin room. He's probably hiding somewhere in the cousin room, or else he's managed to trick everyone since the beginning, and was never in that room to begin with. That's impossible. It's been guaranteed that everyone was in the cousin room, except the specific names Lady Erica read aloud back then. It's impossible for him to trick his way out of there. How did he get past the iron seal barrier? No, first off, where on earth is Cannon? Find him at once. At that moment, the cathedral suddenly went blank. Black. The surprise commotion of the guests filled the cathedral. She's here. 00 calling all Chesters. Code R alert. Chester 17, can you repair the electrical systems? Negative. Communications with the management staff have been severed. All Chesters, code red. Rock and roll. Copy, copy, copy. Understood. I mean copy. The sniper teams and the chandeliers all released their safeties at once. The entire security team down in the hall loaded their ammunition. Lady Erica, let us evacuate to the waiting room. It is dangerous here. What's dangerous? I'm the territorial lord of this world. Why should I have to run away in fear? Gertrude, set up a VIP guard barrier. Call Cornelia back here at once. Yes, executing. A barrier? I need to be wrapped in one of your pitiful, pathetic barriers while I'm wearing a wedding dress? How insulting. This disturbance made even Battler groan as he sat in the next seat over like a doll. Ugh. Even with his soul sealed, Battler probably realized that something strange was going on. She's late. Right, Lambda? Totally. She sure kept us waiting. What was that just now? A love letter from someone? A fan letter. From the Lambda Chan fan club. I'm able to play dumb and munch some popcorn. Then the lights finally turned on. It was clear that during that blackout, Beatrice had snuck in somewhere nearby, possibly even inside the cathedral itself. The Whispering Demon attendants all realized it as well. Whose scheme was this, and what were they doing? Though it may have been imprudent, they were looking forward to this and its exciting chatter filled the cathedral. Looks like she came. Gap, they let you come back too? Come on, putting me in a jail is pointless. True, Pukukuku. But Liche, Battler's closed room, the cousin room, and even the final possibility of the next room over have all been sealed. How are you planning to save Battler? Let us suppose that my lady has found some trick X. If so, she would inevitably have to march in here to thrust that in Lady Erica's face. But against all of these Chester troops? I can't believe this many of them are hiding here. It's impossible. She'll be sewn to death. Gravity is dashed all about the hall. Incredible that she would remain hidden and unnoticed with so many people around. If she can just get close enough to challenge Erica, she should be able to get herself an even fight. I see that move. However, does my lady have that item with her? She always complains and dislikes it when I prepare them for her. My, she's a troublesome one to the end. Amid the crowd, Runaway took something out and showed it. When Virgilius saw, she understood what that in his hand meant. True, with that, it should be possible to stop the attacks from the Chester troops. Well, if it doesn't work on Erica, we're through. The problem is getting her right in front of Erica, if only for a second. The Chesters will probably prevent that with all they have. Leah, do you think you can gain her that time? Virgilia gave a small nod. However, the problem was the two Chiestra troops standing at her back. Since the time she tried to jump out in front of the procession, and she had been marked constantly. It was possible, with Virgilia's vast magical power, to momentarily take out all of the Chiestra troops in the cathedral. That would only be in a short bit of time, but it would be enough to confront Erica. The Chiestra troops knew this, so they kept a close eye on Virgilia with tense faces. At that moment, the great cathedral door was blasted to bits. The fragments became bright gold butterflies, which danced across the room in a beautiful blizzard of gold leaf. That golden storm slowly faded away. Then, at the entrance to that red carpeted path to the grave, a calm, majestic figure. Guards, shoot to kill. Negative, conducting identity comparison. Delena ordered the guards to shoot the intruder right away, but Chester 00 didn't respond. Was it because she'd been warned about shooting the guests, and was afraid of the consequences of possibly shooting a drunk guest playing some sort of prank? No, 00 was just coolly and calmly carrying out her duties. Okay, I'll show it off in a sec, thanks. Oh, what a surprise. I thought you weren't going to make it. CG. The pair faced each other from either end of the long red carpet. However, in between them stood several dozen Chester honor guards. It took you quite some time to come here, most honored guest. You had us all quite worried, but I am glad you managed to make it to the reception at least. Heh. Beato laughed. That chuckle made Balor's eyes quiver slightly. You... Did I keep you waiting, Furuta Erika? I'm here to celebrate. She had an overwhelming and evil presence about her, strong enough to make anyone shiver. Was there really needed to confirm her identity now? Who else could possess such an overwhelming presence? Beatrice! Let us meet again in hell is a favorite parting line of mine, but... Identity confirmed. It is the great Lady Beatrice. This time it really did happen. Furuta Erika! At that moment, the two Chester troops standing behind Virgilia slumped over and fell to the floor. Runabe had touched the bases of the big ears from behind. It was clear that he had applied some sort of magic. Now they just have sensitive ears. Someone find a doctor. These girls appear to be ill. All Chesters open fire. Beato, now. Just an instant before the Chester troops could fire, Virgilia raised her arms to the heavens. Her magical power, which was more than enough to remind all present what her name had meant at the height of her strength. Okay, we got random Virgilia CG here too, yep. Became a spirit wave that exploded throughout the cathedral. Its shockwave made the stained glass windows shatter and colorful glass shards poured down everywhere. Spirit particle warfare defenses. Hurry on, reboot. However, all the Chester honor guards, who didn't have spirit particle defenses, toppled over like dolls. The ceiling snipers were defended and able to avoid a crash, but it would take several minutes before the system could be rebooted. That span of time should be enough to reach Erica. However, it wouldn't be possible to defeat Erica in just a few minutes. There was no way they'd be able to carry Battler away in that time. What else could they use this precious time for? Beato dashed down the red carpeted path. She ran down the path to the grave, which was lined by Chester troops lying there like corpses. She had called this place hell. In that case, running from hell to the grave was actually going backwards. Beato's figure dashing through the corpse-ridden path truly symbolized her resurrection. My lady, take this. Got it. As she dashed, she snatched something white from Runabe's outstretched hand. There was no longer anyone blocking her path to Erica. However, at that instant, a golden thread came down from in front of her, and rapidly sewed through the red carpet towards her like a sewing machine. Oh, we have a meddler. Reloading complete. Requesting data, yeah. Firing radar targeted. Data link to 410. 410 was clever. She had predicted that Virgilia would go for a spirit particle attack, and had folded her ears and 45s over beforehand. So they were the only ones who weren't taken out. Firing. Once again, the golden sewing thread chased after Beato, weaving like a sewing machine. It was as though an undulating golden snake was shooting after her. Impudence. You mean to delay my precious showdown with Erica? Beato jumped sideways away from the red carpet, then dashed across the long table covered with beautiful food. The gold snake chased her, sewing through the pure white tablecloth like a sewing machine and scattering dishes left and right. The goat attendants ran about wildly, trying to escape. The cathedral was wrapped in pandemonium. I can't believe some of those rabbits evaded the spirit particle attack. This is bad. If they take up that position, there's nothing we can do. The pair of snipers, attacking from the chandelier high above, were much further away than Erica was, too far for Beato to reach. Furthermore, their position landed the entire cathedral inside the range of fire. Too bad, nya, Beatrice-sama. The trials of love are harsh, nya. 45, new magazine. You mean this? Gap handed her the magazine. 45 always handed them word backwards, so 410 was a bit confused to have one handed to her the right way up. Yeah? Let go. No matter how distant a position they might take, it was no problem for the elusive Gap. Gap twisted their long ears up, and then tinkled them with their thumbs. That Chester's greatest weapon was also their greatest weakness. The two doubled over with laughter. I've got these two, but how many seconds do we have left? The other Chesters will be reactivating. On the other chandeliers, even more powerful Chesters were slowly starting to move again. It would be impossible to buy any more time. Ah, Gap. Thanks, I'm in your debt. Don't forget to thank these guys too. Beato, good luck. Hang in there. You don't have much time. Erica. Beato cut through the crowd of scampering goats like Moses, her goal straight in front of her, the place where Erica and Battler were seated. Then, a red barrier took form, blocking her path. It was the VIP guarding barrier that Gertrude had set up. She stepped forward and laid out a last line of defense to block Beato's path. Let it be known that you will get no closer. You think a wall like that can stop me? How long until the Chesters reactivate? Within 30 seconds. As the eldest of the seven sisters of Purgatory, Lucifer stood waiting behind the bride and groom. She wanted to save Beato. If she could distract Gertrude for a moment, the wall would disappear. However, the seven sisters were furniture. They served the territory lord. So, they couldn't move to help Beato. Leonor glanced over at Lucifer. There was a coercive tint to her eyes. You were not allowed to move except by the orders of your master. Who's our master? It's Erica now, idiot. No, our master is Battler-sama. True, Erica only speaks on his behalf. That's right, One-sama. Whose furniture are we? It's just too delicious. Let's dig in. The red absolute barrier flickered for just an instant. Beelzebub's stake had pierced Gertrude's shoulder, and her concentration had wavered. But it didn't break. Slowly and expressionlessly, Gertrude turned to look at Lucifer. By whose orders? Know that Lady Erica has made no such order. We do have orders. The orders of our master. How can a master who cannot speak give orders? Even though he can't talk, understanding your master's will is furniture's job. Then, it cannot be helped. The seven stakes shot at Gertrude at once. Gertrude has chosen to take all those direct attacks, refusing to abandon the barrier until the last moment. Though she was resilient enough to be called a literal Iron Maiden and receive no damage at all, it was more than enough to make her flinch and lose control of the barrier. Good work, my furniture. Beato shot through the scattered red fragments of the barrier, and she was finally right in front of the bride, her rival, Erica. However, there stood the final shield protecting Erica. Death sentenced Lenore. You're too late. Time is already up, Lady Beatrice. Chester 17, data link to all Chesters. Incoming data from Archangel Satellite. Homing format, verdict to model conceptual guidance. Chester 20, reactivation complete. Chester 127, reactivation complete. Hehe. Time's up, nya. Hehe. No, not there. No. Liche, good luck. Delanor. Back off, Delanor Knox. This isn't your fight. I've received a red truth denying you from Lady Berncastel. I'm afraid that this will become your grave. I don't know what Berncastel has allowed her to say. However, I don't need to sit around and let that longsword tell me. I'll play with you all you want later, but for now, back off. There's no time. The Chesters have already finished reactivating. I'm only living on a bit of borrowed time. You will be the one to retreat. You are the pitiable actor who's chosen the wrong time to make an appearance. Leonor's red longsword cut a large arc of absolute denial, which headed straight for the crown of Beato's head. However, in that instant, there was a thunk, and the curve missed slightly. Beato didn't let this good fortune go to waste. She slipped past the longsword, knocked Eleanor aside, and finally stood right in front of Erica. This time, not a single person stood in her way. Ugh. This is... popcorn? Where did this come from? Urgent request from the bride's bodyguard team. Let the Chester Sister Imperial Guards fire the intruder immediately. The commotion quieted. However, no one shot. Why? They could have shot if they'd wanted to. All of the Chester troops had completely targeted her and removed their safeties. Of course, all of them had finished reactivating. However, they hesitated to pull the trigger. But why aren't they shooting? Let the ceremony guards immediately. But wait. Look at that. Eleanor's expression grew grim. Then she quietly put her red longsword away. After all, Eric would have to make a decision. If she decided to ignore it, they could shoot to kill. However, if Erica picked that up, they must not do so. So, they couldn't pull the triggers until Erica decided. Why wouldn't anyone shoot? Look closely. See what Beato just threw at Erica? And the Delta pointed, still chomping down popcorn. It was hard to see from the balcony. Beato had thrown something like a white handkerchief at Erica. It had fallen to Erica's feet. What was that white thing? She really knows what she's doing, that girl. She knows what it means to be the main character. How interesting. The thing that had hit Erica in the face and fallen to the floor was a white glove that Beato had gotten from Runaway. Hitting someone with a glove like that could only mean one thing. It was... Oh, Zepar, what's this? What does it mean? This is... a request for a duel. If she picks up the glove, it means she's accepted. And if she doesn't, the Chesters will shoot? Why would she pick it up? She doesn't have to. However, we in the demon attendants would probably spread the word far and wide that she dishonorably ran away from a duel. She would be known for eternity as a coward who ran away from a duel of love. Erica would never run away from that. Berica waited... Berica. What the fuck is Berica? Beatrice waited firmly and composedly. If Erica had just kicked it away, then at that very instant, the Chesters would probably all fire at once, turning her into golden embroidery. So, Erica didn't have to pick it up. However, she could not afford to be afraid of picking it up. After all, she was the true victor, who defeated Battler's closed room trick and logic. If she was the victor, she should have nothing to fear. So, if she was afraid of doing it, it would prove that she still felt a tinge of doubt about her victory. If I don't pick it up, I can kill you without getting these clothes dirty. That would probably liven up your reception. However, you will pick it up. Oh? And why is that? I've brought a wonderful gift just perfect for you. You want to know what that is. Therefore, you'll pick it up. Not interested. Goodbye. You'll pick it up. I know that you want to hear about the closed room I brought you, which, unlike that trivial guest room of Battler's, is simple, basic, and absolutely cannot be solved. A closed room that absolutely cannot be solved? I know you want to accept my challenge. After all, you are the detective. Erica threw off her wedding dress as though it were a cape. Yes, before she's a bride or a piece or a witch, she's one thing first and foremost. I am the detective. I acknowledge you as my opponent. However, are you qualified to participate in this game? Have you managed to fix the logic error? If you pick that glove up, I'll prove that I have fixed it in my fight against you. Good though. Oh, the cathedral was filled with chatter. Erica had picked up the glove. A duel! The cathedral was wrapped in a bizarre excitement. I have another cat on my lap now. At Erica's nod, Delena pushed the crowd away, leaving them alone. People were permitted to witness this duel. However, no one would be allowed to interfere in any way. Ugh. It's okay, Battler-san. I've already found a way to save you. How? I'm going to save you now. Please hang in there just a little longer. No, she's just sleeping. Beato's resolute expression returned, and she grinned boldly, looking down at Erica. Ah, there could be no doubt. That's the expression worn only by the Golden Witch. Presence of the Master of Closed Rooms. A shadow dashed through the stormy rose garden. It was incredibly light and swift. The raindrops never touched him. He made no splashes in the countless puddles. His feet left no tracks in the mud. That rushing figure was Cannon. Then he ran up the stairs to the entrance to the mansion. He did not slow down on the slightest to open the door. He ran straight at it, as though trying to break through, and leapt into it. Though the door was shut, even that couldn't stop Cannon. He slipped through the door, fell into the entranceway, and slowly stood up. His body wasn't even wet. And, as he recalled those nostalgic days spent serving the Ishimeta family, which would never come again, he ran once more. He was heading for Balor's guest room. He ran past the servant room, through the entrance hall, and past the door to the parlor. Then, the doors to the kitchen and the dining hall came to sight. All of it brings back fond memories. It was the honor and rigidity of serving Kinzo directly. However, that man wasn't rigid all the time. When the feeling was out of sight and he didn't have to preserve that air of majesty, his face could turn unbelievably childish, and he would sometimes ask me to take part in strange pranks. The master let me shoot lots of guns, didn't he? That was pretty fun. Cross-Sama was actually surprisingly kind. He must have got the impression that the master bullied me a lot. Whenever I was the only one around, he would talk to me in a very familiar way, almost as though he was a classmate of mine. I sort of regret that I held back and never did anything but nod in return. Madame was a really strict person. Ever since some rumor went around saying that she was strict on female servants but soft towards male servants, I get the feeling she viewed me as an enemy. However, she was also a woman to be pitied. When I've seen her alone, I've noticed her shoulders sag with the pain many times. There were a lot of servants, weren't there? Some lasted a short while, others stayed a long time. Genji-sama was the one person I might have called my father. I'm both grateful and resentful towards him over many things. They all mix together, cancel out, and I end up with a neutral emotion. As for Shrek, great. In that case, Kumasawa-san could probably be called my mother. She's helped me out many times. I've always wanted to repay her someday. And now I've lost that chance for all time. Shannon is my Nei-san. Without her, I wouldn't have been able to be me. Thanks for teaching me that the ocean is blue. Kota? I hate that guy. Still, when I complimented his stew, he would sometimes turn red and say there was enough for seconds. I didn't dislike that part of him. I wonder why such a strong memory popped up at the instant I ran past the dining hall. And then, my memories of Jessica. Oh, it's a boy servant. How old are you? I think those were the first words she spoke to me. Come to think of it, she was probably interested in me ever since then. I really did have enough time to build up a love that wouldn't lose to George-sama and Shannon's. But since I could only see the gray sea, I wasted almost all of that time. What does she like about me? What do I like about her? I get the feeling we never really made that clear. No, she told me. We should have stayed together longer to eventually find that out. I love the scene where Cannon saved Shrek from jail and gave him the push he needed to go save Fiona. It would have been fine to find reasons for our love later. It took me far too long to realize that. Now, I think I can accept it. I know Shannon won the duel. God must have been watching. He had so much more courage than I did, and God didn't abandon you. I reached the hallway with the guest rooms. There was someone lying on the ground. It was Balor. He was lying just outside the guest room, a chain tied to his neck. He had probably struggled to do something with the chain lock from the outside until he lost consciousness. His fingernails on both hands had been torn off, and they were stained with blood. I could tell at a glance just how hard he had tried until the final moment his heart had died. The collar binding him wouldn't disappear unless the chain lock was set. Balor-sama, it's alright. I'm going to save you now. Balor responded faintly. He probably hadn't even imagined that help would come to this eternal closed room. He was so scared that this might be an auditory hallucination brought about by a fleeting delusion that he couldn't bear to open his eyes easily. Hold on, I have to go pee. So I had to pause during a big, long, dramatic scene, but it's big and long. I'll be right back. Hey, Junie. You're awake. Wow. Okay. Let's carry on. I'm not stopping while I'm ahead. I'm committing. Cannon grabbed Battler by the arms and dragged him into the room. The inside of the room was terrible. The windows had been brutally shattered, and the wind and rain had made its way inside. All kinds of tools and furniture lay broken there. However, Battler hadn't smashed them out of rage. The curtain had been removed, torn, and twisted up into a bundle. He had probably used trial and error to see if that could be used as a rope or some trick. He had tried using everything in the room, exploring all possible options of escape. The traces could be seen throughout the room, and even in the bathroom. The empty bathtub was stained with just a bit of blood, and the nippers lay there in the bottom. To protect this tale, he had nearly been prepared to accept Brinkistel's brutal method of escape, cutting himself into pieces and washing himself down the drain. He's even willing to tear apart his own body to protect the game that Beato had entrusted him with. He had probably questioned himself over and over in this bathtub, wondering if there was any other way out. By the clock of this game world, not even a single day had passed. However, just how many years had it been in the closed room of the logic era? When faced with an endless span of time, any way of ending it, no matter how cruel, is tempting. However, he had rejected that until the very end. And, even in the last moment when his heart died, he had wanted so much to show his iron will to escape from this closed room, that he had chosen to fall here in the corridor, with a chain still around his neck. Battler-sama, it's canon. Please, come to your senses. He wiped Battler's face with a towel wetted in the sink. In response to that cold sensation, Battler's heart slowly started beating again. It's you, Canon-kun. Yes, it's me, Canon. You did well to endure until today. Looks like I slept in just a little too much. Battler realized that the feel of the towel on his neck meant that the cursed collar and chain were gone. There's no longer anything binding you here. Come on, please, head back quickly. But, if I unset that chain lock, that chain will come back. Don't worry. No longer does any chain exist to bind you, Battler-sama. I will remain here. What did you say? By now, Battler knew the terror of this endless closed room better than anyone else. So, he was more filled with shock than happiness. Shock at the determination of the one who was willing to become the new prisoner. I will be fine. There's no need to worry. But, Battler-sama, isn't there still something you have to do? Go back, quickly. There is someone fighting in your place. And there is someone awaiting your return. Will you not go back? His stern words and gaze shot straight through Battler. Are you sure? Yes, that will be fine. This way I can repay my debt from back then. Debt? Do you owe me something? You aren't the one I owe, Battler-sama. It's okay, so go. I don't like being indebted to others. Go, quickly. You must not keep her waiting now. So, hurry. Battler couldn't argue back anymore. He silently bowed his head and set the chain and opened the door. Canon had remained in the room, so no chain appeared about Battler's neck. He could leave this closed room just by running out. The happy-sounding voices that he'd heard at the far end of the corridor had been replaced with an excited chatter. There must have been some strange disturbance going on. As Canon went out into the corridor to see me off, the merciless collar and chain had already captured the new prisoner. He would remain inside this endless closed room in Battler's place. Canon-kun, I feel the same. About what? I don't like keeping debts. I'll definitely repay you, and I'll do it soon. I hope I can count on that. Go on. Run. Run to the one you love, and please, never get lost again. Battler didn't turn back again. He ran with everything he had. He ran out into the corridor, whose warmth he had cursed so many times. That cursed chain no longer bound him. He ran to the very end of the corridor, beyond the light. Canon, still connected to the chain, watched him go, then quietly returned to the guest room. Now, he only had to worry about his own job. Stay in this room, and fix the error in logic. Now, I set the chain lock. As soon as he set it, the chain disappeared from his neck. Then, if he hid in the one place Erica hadn't checked, the broken logic would be fixed. The closet door opened slowly. It was well oiled and opened without a sound. It was cramped inside, and dark. This tiny space is the last place I'll see. As long as I remain hidden in here, the logic will be preserved. That's an easy job. Easier than caring for the roses. Ganon went in and closed the double doors from the inside. As soon as he did, a single small gold butterfly appeared, melted into the darkness of the closet, and vanished. It was a sign that the logic had been fixed. The witch's game had already stopped, and the clock of the world of pieces would never tick again. So for all eternity, no one would come to save him from this place. That's okay. This way, I paid back my debt. Beatrice. The power of the gold butterfly brooch taught me about love. In the third game, it gave me some quiet time alone with Jessica. I get the feeling it did many other small things for me. At any rate, I paid back all of my debts now. Now, all of my debts are that music tape Jessica lent me. I never gave that back, did I? That's okay, isn't it, Jessica? I like that one. Can I accept that as a present? You want me to dub over and hand it back? Slowly, Ganon's body began to melt into a cloud of gold butterflies. And after the inside of the cramped, dark closet glittered like a golden planetarium, it faded away like the light of fireflies and was painted over by pitch blackness. For all eternity. All of it makes more sense in hindsight, like everything in Umineko. In the cathedral, the goat attendants were all jostling around either side of the red carpet. Save here. I don't think it updates anything here in particular. Yeah. Okay. In the cathedral, the goat attendants were all jostling around either side of the red carpet. On the red carpet, standing across from each other, were Beato and Erica. In their hands were the pistols given to them by Zephyr and Furfur. What locks are they? How old-fashioned. Pay no mind. Demons are very particular about style. Its form was similar to an actual old-fashioned gun, but this was, of course, a demon's gun. This wasn't a gun that would propel a lead bullet with an explosion caused by gunpowder. Like the pistols used in the duel between Shannon and Cannon, whose bullets had contained a magic that would always kill, these pistols also had bullets that were not made of lead. Beato. There's no need to worry. She'll win easily, and you'll have to deal with her insults again, Leah. When this match is over, we shall have to be paid every now and then. After the fight ends, perhaps the occasional trip down to the Caribbean would be satisfactory. Enough talk about when the fight is over. That's an ill omen before a duel. Beato, take this seriously. This is no time to be standing around laughing. Why is Riche relaxed and Leah tense? Come on. Beatrice-sama, you can do it. Beatrice-sama is at a disadvantage in this duel. Why? Normally, witches are able to use strength and numbers to achieve victory. However, since the game has been suspended, she has nothing on her side except the riddle of Battler-sama's guest room. If Erica can just strike a blue wedge through that one riddle, it'll mean she solved everything. They can win. I believe in Beatrice-sama and Battler-sama, our two masters. Did you call me? Thanks. For once, it feels as though our chances of winning are 50-50. So I'd like to thank you beforehand. It is simply my job. There's no need to thank me. In the last game, when you protected me after I lost pathetically, I was happy. That was the first time in my life that anyone has ever protected me. Even my master has never done so. All she has given me is a way to cancel out my pain by exposing the truth of others, so that everyone ends up hurting each other. Please forgive my arrogance. I felt that I needed to protect you. When I realized what a frail truth you live by, when I saw you being tormented by the tyranny of a mixture of truth and lies that seemed more plausible, I wanted to protect you. Thank you. It wasn't for long, but you were a wonderful partner. And will remain so. You're right. Once we defeated her, let's make tons of mysteries on this island together. I'll have you solve them and tease you as we play. How does that sound? I like it. I look forward to your challenge. Sorry, that's a lie. I take it back. That'd be one of those loser flags, wouldn't it? Now, are you ready, duelists? When the two demons clap their hands, the duelists instantly return to their bold, tense smiles. The bolts within those magic guns are not lead. They are bolts of red and blue truth for the battle between mystery and fantasy, or playing Danganronpa. As long as you possess truth, your bullets are endless. However, being hit by a single one means instant death. Are you both prepared? Certainly. Of course. Lady Lamb the Delta, a great and powerful witch of certainty and member of the glorious Senate, please come forward. Will you swear to oversee this duel? Of course. I swear it. The crowd split, and Lambda walked forward with Baron Castell by her side. She looked between the faces of the two duelists. Then she took an envelope with the seal of the one-winged eagle and lifted it high. Beatrice has sent me her revisions to the tale inside a sealed envelope. After inspecting it, I find its contents to be valid. I proclaim that the logic error has been avoided. The chain lock is still set, and without any contradictions with any red truth made up to this point. The Umineko attendants knew the details of Balor's closed room. You realized how difficult it was. And though fiery debates had swept across the crowd during the reception, none had been able to find an answer. And now it was clear that Beatrice had already reached one. Therefore, this duel was legitimate. It will center around one single point: the closed room of Balor's guest room. Balor disappeared from within the closed room sealed by a chain lock. Therefore, Erica has been armed with a blue truth. Beatrice has been armed with a red truth to counter back. The duel will continue until one side is victorious. So now, instead of Balor having to solve the closed room, Erica has to solve it. So, funny enough, the tables have been turned, actually. Splendid. Perfect. Okay. Well then, Beato, present your new revised tale and riddle to Erica. Can he use magic to escape from the cousin room without breaking the seals? He reached the guest room and used magic to let Balor escape from that closed room. What a foolish tale. Very well. Erica, is there anything you wish to confirm? Repeat it. The one who rescued Balor was, without a doubt, canon. Very well. The one who rescued Balor was, without a doubt, canon. Repeat it. Balor and canon are different people. I'll say it. Balor and canon are different people. That's enough. Erica, are you done confirming things? That was all I needed. I've already decided how to fight. Okay. Let both sides load their bullets. Erica turned around, pressed her finger against the barrel of the pistol, made her blue truth into a bullet, and pushed it in. There was no rule saying that she had to turn away, but she didn't want her expression to be read. Or it might have been because she couldn't stand the tension of looking at Beato's bold smile. Beato had already finished loading her red truth. She waited for Erica to finish while calmly puffing on her pipe. Then she looked at Balor, who sat on the thread of the territory lord, right next to the two witches who were here as witnesses. Balor's consciousness was still hazy. However, he apparently understood that Beato had come to duel for his sake, so that he could be saved. It was all he could do just to look at Beato with those sluggish eyes, but a flood of emotions passed between them. There was no need for words. The look was enough for them now. Erica closed her eyes tightly, her figure still up against the barrel. At that moment, her stunning powers of concentration made all the distractions of the outside world disappear. Good though. It's always been like this, but my concentration really is good. Are you ready, me? Put her to Erica. First, let's lay out the situation. Balor disappeared from that closed room. The chain lock is set. Did he disappear by magic? Of course not. There has to be a trick. Kennen didn't save him with magic. He just came, took Balor's place, and set the chain. Everyone knows that much. The problem was the next step. No, it's actually the step before that one. Kennen was in the cousin room in the guest house. That room was completely sealed with packing tape, and it's been proven that the seal was intact until the time of the logic error. In other words, Kennen escaped from a closed room that was absolute, with no chance for excuses or twisted logic. Good though. This is why she called it a simple yet ultimate closed room. How did he escape from the perfect closed room known as the cousin room? If I got stuck thinking only about that question, I'd be no better than your average kid detective. That room is a perfect closed room, so there is no way to escape. In other words, trying to think of ways to escape from there is a waste of time. The real question is how Kennen was somewhere outside the cousin room when it was sealed. The cousin room is a completely sealed can. If he wasn't there when it was sealed, then it's already game over. In other words, at the time the cousin room was sealed, he wasn't inside it anymore. Let's look at the time I checked everyone's locations in sealed rooms. That's the most suspicious part. Big hints here. At that time, we have the 5 people in the next room over, whom I confirmed with my own eyes. Hideyoshi, George, Kubusawa, Shannon, and Nanjo. I mentioned the names of those 5 people during the location check, and confirmed that they were in the next room over. Then I checked to see whether everyone else was in the cousin room, and had that confirmed for me as well. I said everyone else, so whether he was Kennen, or Yoshia, or even Purukurupigo Man, they all should have been sealed in the cousin room. It seems perfect at a glance. However, though that phrase, everyone else seems perfect, it's fishy. Strictly speaking, everyone else refers to all humans whose names I did not mention directly. In other words, they are exceptions. For example, it's been confirmed that Hideyoshi and George were in the next room over. so humans with the name Hideyoshi or George don't need to be inside the cousin room. It seems that Canon told Jessica that his real name was Yoshia, but that was no real truth. In other words, what if Canon's real name is the same as one of those in the next room over? They seem to be about the same age, so let's use George. So what if there were 2 Georges in that room? That doesn't violate the real truth that's saying Hideyoshi, George, Kubisawa, Shannon, and Nanjo in the next room over. Let's say that Canon's real name was Tanaka George. Both Ushimiya George and Tanaka George could exist in that room at the same time. In other words, there were 6 humans with 5 names. It looked in my eyes as though there were only 5 people in the next room over, but a 6th person, Canon, was hiding somewhere. I don't have the detective's authority, so it wouldn't be that difficult for him to fool my eyes and hide. I see, the double name trick. Stupid, so stupid. Alright, I've made my logic. Canon, who was hiding in the next room over, not the cousin room, left by the window after the seals were placed. Bang. Ah, ow. The gun had fired, and the tip of my finger was stained with blood. The Bluetooth gunpowder had exploded. Ah, damn it. I've already had to let her seal that one. Bluetooth arguing about the window of the next room over is forbidden, so I can't use it. Oh, an accidental discharge. Careful now, guns could be dangerous. Shut up. It's just a little mistake. The window of the next room over. You sealed it was some absurd trick, right? Gap told me. Is that so? And so what? Delanor, remove that foolish seal. That seal has become your shackles. Beato has figured out everything I've been thinking, and she's acting so confident, telling me to go ahead and use that argument. Lady Erica, please remove it. That fool. I'll make her regret this. It seems you are ready, duelists. Please face each other with your pistols. Then fire with the sparks of truth. The question is, will she regret that like Battler did when he gave her the tape? I figured Erica have a window. After facing away and readying herself one last time, Erica spun around. Beato had been facing her since the beginning. She wore a confident, challenging smile, as if she'd been kept waiting. Then, without any signal, the two slowly raised their guns, pointing the red and blue glints that hid within their barrels at each other. Come, I could do with a little fun. Begin. First is how Cannon escaped from the cousin room. I'll use that as my bullet. Oh, so you'll start from there. Let's have it. Hold nothing back. Here I go. After holding the gun high and pointing it at Beato once more, Erica pulled the trigger with statements of red and blue truth. The cousin room is guaranteed to be a perfect closed room until the end. So, if Cannon really was in this room, it would be impossible for him to escape. In other words, Cannon was not in that room at the time it was sealed. The name Cannon is an alias. His real name is still unknown. If his real name happens to be the same as anyone in the next room over, that wouldn't contradict the check on who was in that room. In other words, it's possible for him to be in the next room over, not the cousin room. The goat attendants chattered and clapped their hands, thinking, yes, such a move would work. Ah, I love watching this. I love being surrounded by this chatter. After all, I am the detective. It is true that the next room over was sealed, but at the time of the logic error, only the doors were checked to see whether the seals were preserved. Therefore, there's a chance that the window seals were broken. Cannon was in the next room over and escaped through that window. That is all. Any other theory would be impossible. If this doesn't work, then there's no truth left. As soon as she said, that is all, both of them fired at the same time. After the blast rang out, it was Erica's gun that fell to the floor. Beato's red bullet had knocked Erica's gun from her hands. Was it arrogance or confidence? If she had just aimed that bullet at Erica's heart, the whole thing would have been over. Beato had missed on purpose. There was a bold smile on her face. It was as though she was offering to play with Erica a little longer. No, that's exactly what made her Beato. Beatrice, the witch who mocks others with unsolvable closed room tricks. At the time the next room over was sealed, Hideyoshi, George, Kubisawa, Shannon, and Nanjo were in it. And the number of people in the next room over was 5. No one existed there except for those to whom those 5 names refer. All people can only go by their own names. Ugh. It was a thoroughly merciless red truth. It was simple and severe. Now that the number of people had been limited to 5, any leeway for Cannon hiding there had been completely denied. You should screenshot this and read it very, very, very carefully. Also, it was now clear that only people holding those 5 names existed within the room. Erica couldn't even make a new theory by suggesting that one person held 2 names, so that the 5 names referred to only 4 people, which would let an unnamed Cannon sneak in. Furthermore, the part about how people could only use their own names was a fatal blow that cut down countless theories. Come to think of it, you've only ever met the half-sleeping me from the previous game, haven't you? What do you think, Erica? How do you like the game of the Golden Witch? That's insane. Are you saying that Cannon slipped out of the room by magic? Yeah. More importantly, why did you just knock my gun away? The human side must crush all the witch's riddles, whereas the witch side usually crush the human's theories once. Don't you find that unfair? So I decided to have it be even. Even? I've decided that I'll make my victory condition the destruction of all of your theories. I've won the riddle of Cannon's escape, but there's one more. Let's return to the first battle round, where you gave Battler so much trouble. When Beato snapped her fingers, that gas room of Battler's was reconstructed. She went to fight once more in the room that had threatened Battler with a logic error, determined to settle things once and for all. Erica, pick up your gun. We'll have this room be your coffin. I say the same to you. I'll make you regret ever giving me this chance. Witness, I'll allow Erica to use X. X? You mean a basis that doesn't need to be explained? What are you gonna let her do? Let's give Erica permission to use Bluetooth for Cannon in this guest room trick, without making her explain how he escaped from his closed room. A theory explaining how Cannon saved Battler would also need to explain how Cannon escaped from his own closed room, or it would have no basis. Erica had already lost that basis. Beato was giving her a handicap by saying that she didn't need to explain that part. Oh, of course, you've already used the red truth to guarantee that Cannon saved Battler. It's only natural that I'd be given this privilege. Erica faced away and concentrated even harder. As with twisting the knob on the radio, she turned all noise and idle thoughts down to 0. Going back into Erica's brain again? I hope so. Let's go, put it to Erica. Detective, put it to Erica. As long as Cannon reaches this place, rescuing Battler isn't hard. The trick is as follows. Cannon used some kind of escape trick X to reach the front of the guest room. While I was busy in the bathroom, Battler went up the closet. Battler undid the chain lock. Battler went outside. Cannon entered in his place. Cannon set the chain lock. Cannon went into the closet. The end. This satisfies the jury truths about the chain lock being set and Battler's absence. And in exchange for this escape trick, Cannon remains inside the guest room. There's no room for arguments on how tightly this room can act as a closed room. That chain is cursed. In this demonic closed room, one person must remain as a sacrifice for it to be acceptable. However, is such a simple theory really enough? The rescuer switched places with him. Then the rescuer hid in the closet. No other sort of theory is possible, and yet Beato thinks she can win. In that case, does some other trick exist? Ooh, hiccups. It's impossible. I swore on the history of the mystery genre that there's absolutely, definitely, categorically no other way. But I've been given here, I couldn't call myself a detective. Consider it, imagine, don't stop thinking. That's how you drive blue wedges into witches. What I can expect to see is, yes, a wordplay trick. It can only be some kind of wordplay that just barely slips through the net of words spoken in red. In that case, I'll crush all possibilities. I'll have them repeat line after line. This final duel has already begun, even though we haven't pulled all triggers yet. Repeat it. At the time Battler was rescued, only Cannon entered the guest room. I acknowledge it. At the time Battler was rescued, only Cannon entered the guest room. I believe that was the whole point. Repeat it. From the time I entered the room to the time of the logic error, Battler, Cannon, and I were the only ones who entered or exited the room. I acknowledge it. From the time you entered the room to the time of the logic error, you, Battler, and Cannon were the only ones who went in or out of the guest room. Repeat it. This refers to 3 people. I acknowledge it. It refers to 3 people, you, Battler, and Cannon. Confirming definition. Can I assume that when you say 3 people, that's equal to the number of bodies? You're saying that 3 bodies went in or out of the room, right? I've had enough of things being mixed about with names and numbers of people. I want this point to be clear. Of course, 3 people, in other words 3 bodies, went in or out. Only you and Cannon entered, and only Battler left. It's already been said and read that all people can only use their own names. Therefore, the names Erica, Battler, and Cannon can only be used by those people. Repeat it. I am not the rescuer. Of course. You are the detective, are you not? Don't worry, I'll respect that. Confirming definition. How do you define rescuer? This is also important. I'm to quickly remove the possibility that rescued him accidentally. I'll define rescuer to mean any person who reset the chain lock after Battler unset it. This definition applies whether said person intended to rescue you, Battler, or not. Since she said after Battler unset the chain lock, it's impossible for this to have occurred before I stepped foot in the room. From that point on, I wouldn't undo the chain again for all eternity. After all, the game was suspended at that point. Therefore, it was impossible for me to have been the rescuer accidentally. More, I can focus it even more. The chain can only be set from the inside. It's impossible for a person to escape on their own. Therefore, we know that Battler didn't escape by himself. And I'm not the rescuer. Only Cannon can be the rescuer. And Beato has already said that Cannon is the rescuer for the red truth. There's nothing to doubt. There's no room for anyone but Cannon to be involved. At least so far. Repeat it. Going in or out refers to when someone crosses the boundary between the guest room and the area outside it. I acknowledge it. Repeat it. By the guest room, referring to the entirety of the bedroom, the bathroom, and the closet. I acknowledge it. I have no intention of wriggling out of this by saying the closet isn't part of the guest room. Confirming definition. The inside of the guest room is divided into 3 sections: the bedroom, the bathroom, and the closet. I also recognize it as such. Furthermore, you've already confirmed whether it's truth that 2 of those sections, the bedroom and the bathroom, had no one hiding in them. Repeat it. There's someone in the closet. I refuse. Why's that? Because Cannon is hiding there? Cannon can use magic. It's true that he hid himself in the closet for a time, but he then immediately vanished with his magic. So there is no one in the closet. I cannot respond. I ask you to repeat it once more. Cool, the witch side has no obligation to explain how they did things with magic. No, it's completely obvious. There's no way she can say that Cannon disappeared with magic using the red truth. After all, magic doesn't exist. But is this enough? I've gone through every last minor detail. And yet, there's an uncanny lack of dubious points. I can't think of any way around the theory I've had since the beginning. Cannon must be in the closet. He has to be. There's no way he isn't. I'll say it again. This closed room can only be escaped by switching places with a rescuer. If Cannon tried to escape as well, another rescuer would be needed. However, no rescue exists for Cannon. Butler escaped, so it's impossible for it to be him. And they won't undo the chain for all eternity. The people who have gone in and out of the room have been confirmed both by name and number of people. At this rate, my theory is set in stone. First, here are the details of the situation that are certain. The game ended while I was inside the guest room, so I did not undo the chain lock that I had previously set. So it can't be that he escaped after I left the room. Furthermore, the chain lock was set at the same time I entered the room. No one could have left the room during the few seconds between the time I entered and the time I set the chain lock. The guest room was sealed at the time Balor's corpse was examined. So until I came again and broke the seals, it was absolutely impossible for anyone to go in or out. Therefore, when I entered the room, it is certain that Balor was hiding somewhere inside the guest room. The only chance Balor had to escape was after I broke the seals. To be even more specific, he had no chance to escape except for the time I was in the bathroom. By the above premises, Balor's trick to escape with the chain still set is as follows. Because of the aforementioned reasons, the only one who could have set the chain lock, which can only be set from the inside and allowed Balor's escape, is Cannon, the only person who entered the room except for me and Balor. After Cannon entered the room, he set the chain, hid in the one place that he could hide in inside the guest room, the closet. Huh? Whoa, that was close. They almost got me. They almost tricked me. I thought I'd cornered him in the closet. It's the opposite. They're trying to make me think he's in the closet. What was the order in which I searched the guest room? First, the bedroom. We confirmed with the red truth that there was nothing there. Then the bathroom. We confirmed with the red truth that there was nothing there. That's it right there. When I examined the bedroom, there was nothing there. However, while I was investigating the bathroom, Cannon slipped out of the closet and hid again somewhere in the bedroom. In other words, my guarantee that no one was in the bedroom was torn apart during a span of 1 minute. I've spotted it. This is the witch's trap, an attempt to lure me into thinking that Cannon's in the closet. The place he's really hiding is the bedroom. I found it. I finally found your trick. That was a close one. If I'd been one step slower, I'd have said there was nowhere to hide except inside the closet. And then she'd just say that the closet was empty. Huh? No, wait. It works the same way in reverse. I see, now I get it. It's a logic switching trick. Damn that Beato. So in resolving the logic error, she has discovered this strange trick. 9 out of 10 witches hate it. If I only notice the closet, she'll have Cannon hide under the bed. If I only notice the bed, she'll have Cannon hide in the closet. Even though either one would be right, I'd lose no matter which I chose. Unless I expose both at the same time, I can't checkmate her. Incredible. I've never heard of such an unfair trick. Coming from Erica? Oh, I'm sure she knows much worse ones. If it was a sleight of hand, it'd just be a cheap one. If it was a mystery, it'd just be cheating. However, in this witch's game, it's a legitimate logic trick. In chess, it'd be called a double check. No, a discovered attack. Or wait, would it be a discovered double checkmate? Even though this sort of logic would be a foul trick in the mystery genre, in this world where witches and mystery war, it is such a refined board layout. The beautiful placement of the black pieces at the corner of my white king fell almost like an art. So beautiful that, if I were a god in some old legend, I might wish to stick it in the sky as a constellation. That beauty even brought tears to my eyes. For the first time, I felt honored at being allowed to participate in this game of truth and witches as a human. And ironically, it taught me, the one who had always believed in a single truth, that there isn't necessarily just one truth. If I just broaden my perspective, I can see completely different truths. And though each of those truths are truth, they're incomplete if they're all you can see. In my life until now, just about how many truths have I missed because I was blinded by some trivial truth. This is the true nature of the world. Erica's had a real epiphany here. Because of our arrogance in thinking that only one truth exists, whenever we find one truth, we get blinded to all others. Thank you, Beatrice-san. I never thought that I would learn the true nature of this world from a witch. Slowly, with a soft and quiet gesture, like a flower opening with the morning dew drifting down its side, Erica raised her gun. It's my victory. I've seen through your double check. Then come. Battler's guest room disappearance trick is as follows. While I searched the room, Battler was hiding in the closet. Then, during the disturbance in the bathroom, he unset the chain and escaped from the room. At that time, Cannon was waiting for him in the hallway. Cannon entered the guest room in his place and set the chain. This is the trick to Battler's disappearance. And afterwards, he hid in the bedroom. This happened after I checked to see that there was no one unexpected in the bedroom, so it's valid. In this way, Cannon the rescuer concealed himself in the bedroom. Erica's blue bullet, full of a strange arc, became a wedge of the blue truth and pierced straight down through the bed and the floor beneath. Beato didn't pull her trigger. However, she did quietly argue back with the red truth. Cannon does not exist in the bedroom. Ooh, the goat attendants gasped. Erica had apparently been defeated, denied by the red truth. For the goats, who couldn't see more than a single truth, it probably looks as though I've lost. Next up is the real one. This is the answer from a human capable of understanding multiple truths. Looks like the tale of illusions will end on the second twilight. So why don't I carry out the remaining twilights and open the door to the Golden Land? If you were to disappear, then it should be surrounded by your golden roses. The fires of blue truth flashed to Erica's feet, and she loaded a blue truth bullet once more. That overflowing blue power was now making her entire gun burn with a blue flame. She wasn't aiming for Beato. She was aiming behind Beato, at the closet. Now that the bedroom has been denied, you've nowhere left to run. Die, Cannon! The 5 wedges of blue truth she released shot right past Beato's cheeks, hair, and shoulders, then pincushioned the door to the closet to gouge whatever humans were inside to death. The 5 wedges slammed into the door in a vertical line. In other words, on the 4th twilight, gouge the head and kill. On the 5th twilight, gouge the chest and kill. On the 6th twilight, on the 7th twilight, on the 8th twilight, gouge and kill and kill and kill. After being gouged by so many thick and sharp wedges, the human inside wouldn't stand a chance. Here's the truth I've exposed. That is all. When she proclaimed that she had finished, the 5 blue wedges piercing the closet disappeared. However, the many large splintered holes left behind showed that it had indeed been pierced. Then, as though this completed the ceremony that led to the Golden Land, the room that had been created around them became countless golden flower petals and drifted away. By now, the duelists and the crowd of attendants were surrounded by the golden rose garden of the Golden Land. One hell of a wedding. However, the closet behind Beato remained. It stood there all by itself like a coffin. Then, as though teased open by a dreary wind, the whole cupboard closet door slowly opened. Inside was a human figure. The figure was covered up to the head by what appeared to be a grayish robe. Of course, that also had large holes showing that it had been stabbed into. Eventually, it became clear that this was not a robe, but a raincoat. If he had rushed here from the guest house, then there would be nothing strange about him wearing this into the guest room. Then with a rustle, the raincoat lost its human shape, crumpled, became a cloud of gold butterflies, and disappeared. But, what the? Inside the coffin of the closet, nothing remained except an empty darkness. Canada does not exist in the guest room. Of course, this includes all parts of the closet, the bedroom, and the bathroom. Cannon let Battler escape and hid in the closet, then used magic to disappear. This is the witch's truth. That is all. This fight is over. Say no more. And the winner is Beatrice. Oh, whoa. The attendants let out a cheer. Vigilia's group couldn't help but scream and shout in joy. The 7 sisters jumped about in celebration. Then at the same moment, the two demons proclaim Beatrice's victory. The heads being worn by Erica, who's slowly crumpling on the ground, and the crystal in Balor's finger both burst. At the same time, Balor called violently. Balor was starting to regain consciousness. Balor! Balor-san! Beato reached on to the coughing Balor in joy. Then, Virgilia, Gap, and Ronobe did the same. All of the 7 sisters also crowded about him in delight. Heh, what a nasty trick. Are you sure something like this will count? Just want to check something in the wiki real quick. I plan on finishing this, but I'm probably going to do the tea party and the witch's tea party next time, as long as they're at least going to be like an hour long or something. Let me just check here. It's not super long, but yeah, it works for me, it works for me. We're about to finish up, though. With a trick like this one, those humans will start complaining again about how this is no mystery. No, it was a splendid trick. People without love cannot see it. Balor-san, Balor-san. Wow. Lady Erica, someone help her, quickly. The rose of blood in Erica's chest wouldn't stop opening its petals. 3rd degree conceptual denial syndrome. Use of continuous neutralizer impossible. Neutralization only possible when emergency approval for resurrection. Yeah, I'll do the 2 parties next time. The piece's master must provide approval for resurrection. Lady Brynn-Castell, give your approval for her resurrection. Lady Brynn-Castell? Where does she go? Search request to ceremony guards. Find Lady Brynn-Castell. Understood. All Chesters, data link, search format. How cowardly. To think that someone's master wouldn't watch her pieces duel until the end. Know that it is far too cowardly. Erica, who's being held by Delaynor, had already realized that her master was nowhere to be seen, but she did feel lonely. On the contrary, she was relieved that she wouldn't need to be brutally scolded in the last moments of her life. Gods and demons, please pass on the story of her noble passing. Noble? Ha. The bad guy is supposed to die pathetically and make the main character look awesome. Yeah. I'm not anyone's piece anymore. I can finally control my own role. Lady Erica, you mustn't move. Stand back. Stay back. When Erica yelled with all her soul, those who surrounded her were forced back and fell on their butts. I am the Witch of Truth, quoted Erica. The Witch of Truth is the witch who can withstand the truth. Now, I can finally accept the real truth about myself. The toxin of her own concept being denied raced through her. Her vision was already starting to blur. At the other end of her twisted range of vision were Balor and Beato, hugging each other and looking at her. Their expressions are firm. That's okay. Pity and sympathy would only make me look more pathetic. For a loser, that sort of expression is the best. Lady Erica, the duel is already over. It isn't. Not until the pair is separated by death. We won't let anyone disgrace our final moments. The 2 demons grabbed Glennor's shoulders and held her back. Dripping blood, breathing heavily, and with an awkward gait, Erica walked towards Beato and Balor despite it all. As the blood dripped from her, it became golden flower petals, which drifted away. So as she walked, she looked both divine and beautiful. The duel wouldn't end until one of them died. So even though it had been settled, it hadn't ended. Beato and Balor told the people bunched around them to step back, and they both walked forward to face the noble loser. Erica, congratulations on your resurrection. Looks like you have bad luck with women. You'll never get a decent one to like you. True. And I'd never fall in love with a decent woman. Beato, no, I ask this of both of you. You wish for one final clash? Erica, very well. We are not so boorish as to refuse your noble request. Thank you. As her consciousness began to waver, Erica raised her gun again. She pointed at the 2 of them. Beato also raised a gun to point to Erica. Then, Balor placed his hand on hers. If it's already resolved, what more could there be to argue about? Erica-sama. Why is there nothing I can do at a time like this? Watch until the end. That's your job as our friend, isn't it? Both sides silently loaded their bullets of truth without saying a word. The color packed in each barrel was red. So, even though neither side spoke, did they both know what trump card the other would use? Now, at the end, I'd like to finally introduce myself. What she's saying, this late into the game? No one could imagine the red truth Erica had loaded. Beato, are you sure? Yes, I don't mind. I understand. Let's at least pull the final trigger together. I know. Valor placed his hand on top of the finger that Beato had around the trigger. Valor-san, I'm glad I met you. We will be together for eternity. Ah, you just had to flirt right in front of me. It's pissing me off. You know, I really can't stand teary farewell scenes. Yes, the bad guy really does need to wear this face at the very end. That's a nice look. Married life with you would have probably been fun enough to make me vomit. Of course. I'd spin you around every day, locked up in a world of pleasure that make you forget about Beato-san in a second. Ha! It's 1,000 years too early for you to capture Valor's heart, little girl. You've never looked cuter than you do now. I guess both of us really do need to finish it this way. Come. This is Detective Footed Erica's final parting line and self-introduction. Erica spun in a magnificent and graceful rondo, scattering blood and golden flower petals around her as she raised her gun. Hi, pleased to meet you. I'm Footed Erica, the detective. I may be an uninvited guest, but please welcome me. I'm the visitor, the 18th human on Akenjima. Sorry, but even if you join us, that makes 17 humans. Yeah, I'll show the CG too. And here you go. Yeah, it's absolutely one of the most iconic things. I think maybe as an entire package, I like episode 5 more. But the final scene of episode 6 is one of my favorites out of the entire series. Easily. Because it's so damn good. So, I will talk a little bit about what this means. I think during the tea party, I think I can actually open the menu and show something. I'll do that real quick, even though I'm not actually going to do the tea party. But essentially, the numbers, you know, we initially started with, what? No. Hold on, I forget numbers very well, but essentially, even with Kinzo dead, and even with Erica here, there's less people than there should be. So what exactly does that mean? The numbers don't line up somehow. I'd forgotten, like, just how much of episode 6 was the logic error, though. Honestly. That's why I think maybe 5 is better off as a full package. No. You've got it backwards. There's not more people than we thought. There's less people than what we thought. Which is really strange, right? So the text is, even if Erica joins them, there's only 17 humans. So without Erica, there's 16 people instead of the 17 we thought there were. So what does that mean? So I wanna check something real quick here. It's probably gonna be, it might show up in the tips after. Hold on, I wanna just look up something super quick here. When is it this shows up? Do I need to, like... It'll come up later, it's okay. It does have something to do with furniture, counting as partial people. For sure. There's also some stuff with Erica there, but that doesn't really fit, like, into the whole core of the mystery. But, Gexa should definitely give you some stuff to, like, think about as you watch Fatal try to reason through the early episodes. I think that, like, knowing all this beforehand, even if you don't quite understand it yet, just keep a close eye on things maybe related to this subject and this topic, and like what characters see, what they don't see, who they don't see at the same time, potentially. And if you piece all that data together, you might realize there's certain situations that never come up. Like, hey, so I'm told that even though I'm seeing 18 characters here, or 17 if we exclude Kinzo, that there's actually only 16 characters. What does that mean if I'm seeing a full 17 people here? Even obviously excluding, like, Beatrice and Gap and Rodovane, characters like that don't count. So what does that mean exactly? Now remember, you can only trust the detective's point of view. So keep track of who Battler sees, and who Battler doesn't see, and who Battler doesn't see together at the same time. If Battler sees two people together in the same room, we know that both those people exist. Let's say that George and Hideyoshi or something let's say Hideyoshi's dead and George is pretending to be his dad or something like that. That only works if Battler never sees both of them at the same time. So take that logic, that kind of problem to look out for, and maybe pay close attention and form a theory in your own head as you watch Fatal play through the earlier episodes, and you might notice something. Because it's consistent, it's very careful, and the anime messes it up, which is why you can't use the anime to solve Umineko. The anime accidentally makes something appear in front of Battler that he should never see. It contradicts the actual truth. So, oops. I guess we need them to make another entirely new Umineko anime. But okay, I'm gonna wrap up there for the night.